We've also got commentary of Celtic against Hibs. That's online only, kicking off in the next few minutes, 7:45. Alistair Lamond and John Hughes describing the action. Just head to the website, bbc.co.uk/Sports Scotland, and click on the link.
Craig, a win, a draw and a couple of defeats for you. How's life back in the hot seat treating you?
Right, you are with us on BBC Radio Scotland, an 8 o'clock start at Tynecastle. That was the voice there of Keradine Idsan jumping in as ever. He just can't wait.
Determined to get a bit of action.
Here he is. Keradine Idsan, big game, Battle of the Saints in Perth this evening. You can give us a team news there.
Trail I've heard on BBC Radio Scotland in quite some time, Kenny. Yes, this one should be quite good. Hopefully this gathering of the Saints. Why? Well, there's usually goals, 13 in the last 4 encounters. We've had a 1-1, a 2-1, a 3-0 and a 4-0, and it's amazing to think that 11 points and 7 places separate these two. So good have St Mirren been, certainly in the earlier part of the season, and so poor were St Johnstone. You might remember as well that one of St Mirren's best performances was a 4-0 win at the end of October against St Johnstone, their biggest league win this season. That was the final straw for the St Johnstone board. They then sacked Stephen McLean. Well, tonight that new manager Craig Levine's made one change in his lineup. Tony Gallagher comes in for Dana Costello. So St Johnstone have Dimitar Mitov in goal, McGowan, Gordon and Robinson as a back three, with Brown and Gallagher in the wide wing back positions. Kushiravi, Phillips and Carey in midfield, with Matt Smith probably slightly advanced, and Dialang Jaisimi trying to do again tonight what he did against Celtic at the weekend, and that's get the ball in the back of the net. For St Mirren, they have an injury to Richard Taylor, which means Charles Dunn comes in, and Lewis Jameson, 21-year-old, gets his first league start of the season up front. So St Mirren, as the teams come out, they have Zach Hemming in goals, Fraser, Gogic and Dunn as a back three, with Flynn and Tanzer in the wide areas. Mark O'Hara and Caelan Boyd-Munn's kind of anchoring at midfield. Lewis Jameson, Greg Kelty and Jonah Ayunga. We have Kevin Clancy, the man in the middle, and we have Alan Muir. He may well drag him out of the middle and point him to that shiny monitor we've come to love so much.
Yeah, we talk about it a lot. Kerry will bring us all the news from St Johnstone against St Mirren. How would you see this one tonight? And also just overall in terms of the season, Tom, do you believe that the experience of Craig Levein with the squad that he has will be enough to secure St Johnstone's top flight status? Because Livy right now look bang in trouble. Motherwell struggling, a heavy defeat for them last night.
Yeah, look, Craig Levein is not going to do it on his own. I mean, he's not out there. So he's going to have to go some. Listen, I think the biggest thing that Craig Levein has in his favour is that Livy looks so poor. Mm-hmm. They look, and I know it's only very early, still relatively early in the season, long way to go, and I wouldn't normally make predictions this far out, but Livy look in mortal danger of getting cut adrift. So that leaves, if they are 12th, then it's a battle for 11th. I suspect, you look at Motherwell, absolute free fall. I suspect St Johnstone will probably have enough, but it's like, this league is so unpredictable, Kenny. Somebody could go on a run of 2 or 3 wins. Somebody could go on a run of 5 or 6, 7, 8 without winning. You know, it's hard to call.
Right, let's hear. And the match has just kicked off. Let's actually hear the thoughts of Craig Levein. He's been speaking with Keradine.
Craig, a win, a draw and a couple of defeats for you. How's life back in the hot seat treating you?
Well, just pretty much as I thought. The highs and lows are just the same.
We were talking with Stephen Robinson, who kind of said the same thing, small margins, and that maybe applies to all the teams bar the big two in Glasgow.
This season in particular, yeah, it's been really close, and a lot of games decided by the odd goal. Yeah, it's a kind of weird season. You put 2 or 3 wins together and you can climb 6 places in the league. So, I mean, it's quite bizarre, actually. Which is exactly what you'll be hoping for, right? Yeah, we're coming off the back of 2 decent performances. We didn't get any points. We were a bit unlucky, certainly in the Hearts game, deflected goal. We played some good stuff against Celtic. So I'm confident the progression is continuing. Tonight's a chance for us to get some evidence for that. Coming up against a really tough side who started the season well, and are in the league position for a reason. So this is going to be tough for us.
St Mirren being up there in the table, is that where you see St Johnstone as being potentially, if things go the way that you want in your kind of new era here?
Well, yeah, of course. I mean, we want to be in the top half of the table. We've got work to do to get there. But the players have worked extremely hard up to this point, and hopefully I can get the same sort of performance from them this evening. And maybe things will fall our way because it'll be tight for sure.
And just finally, your team news tonight: Gallagher in for Costello onto the bench.
Yep. Tony's had to wait quite patiently actually to get an opportunity. Dara's had a couple of opportunities. I just felt that with James being on the right side and Tony being left-footed, it gave us a little bit more balance on that side of the field. But we'll see if the manager's made the right call or not.
I'll ask you about it after. Good man. Thanks.
Cheers.
Craig Levine there with Ceredigion. Sam, we'll cross to hear from the managers at Tynecastle. It's an 8 o'clock start there, Hearts against Rangers in just a couple of minutes' time. Michael, your reading of the situation at the bottom of the table?
Very much in line with what Tom was talking about, that fearful of Livingston, and I've said this on a couple of occasions in the last month or so. Just you look at David Martindale and I just think there's a bit of zest and zip and life lacking there that you would normally see. You know, you talk about bullish managers, you don't get much more bullish than David Martindale, and I don't get the sense of that this season, and I think it's translated into his team. So I'm fearful of Livingston. This game tonight at McDermott is a huge one for St Johnstone, you know, against tough opposition. Craig Levine's won 1 out of 4 so far. He's lost the last 2 against 2 good opponents in Hearts and Celtic. Now St Mirren are up the top end of the table as well. But if you lose 3 in the bounce, it starts to, feel like the early optimism drains away very quickly, especially at this time of the season where there are so many games coming thick and fast. If you can get into a good run of form, you can rattle through, a number of games and get accumulating a lot of points. But the flip side is, if you're on a poor run, all of a sudden there's a lot of games disappearing. You don't pick up too many. So this is a big game for St Johnstone. Yeah,
we'll get updates from Ceredigion and St Johnstone against St Mirren. Also updates in that game. A big game for Barry Robson at Pittodrie. Aberdeen against Kilmarnock. Willie Miller is there for us. The online option is underway. The commentary match, Celtic against Hibs. We'll get all the action. You won't miss any of the goal news from that game. It's an 8 o'clock start. Our main commentary tonight. What a match this is going to be. Hearts against Rangers, live from Tynecastle. Let's now hear from the Hearts manager. And before we get to Stephen Naismith, a goal at Celtic Park. Martin Dowden.
It's a goal for Celtic early on in this one. It was a corner come in from Lewis Palmer. All very simple, actually. Hibs seemed to lose Cameron Carter-Vickers inside the 6-yard box, and he just got the touch that went beyond David Marshall to open the scoring. Celtic won, Aberdeen 0.
Yeah, we had strong words from the Celtic manager at the weekend. It got the desired effect in the second half there, and the players have kicked on this evening ahead early on against Hibs. Martin will bring us all the news from that game. As I said, our main commentary comes this evening from Tynecastle. Hearts against Rangers. Let's now hear from the Hearts manager, Stephen Naismith. He's been speaking with Brian McLaughlin.
Well, Stephen, 2 changes to the starting 11, but I think, in fairness, it's maybe the bench that most Hearts fans will be looking at tonight. The return of not 1, not 2, but 3 players have been out with long-term injuries. How big a boost is that to the dressing room?
Yeah, it's a big boost, but it's not something that's just been an overnight decision. And it's been something that's been worked on, and there's been a plan in place to make sure these players are ready for this period coming up, and that they're robust enough to come into the game whenever we need them. You look at it on the surface and there's a great amount of experience, there's a great amount of quality, and it's now about integrating them back in, and I'm sure these guys can make a difference in the upcoming games when needed. But we've got a really good competitive squad, and that's shown over the previous 4 games.
You gave very little away yesterday when I asked you the question if they were going to be back or not, but psychologically for the dressing room as well and for the fans, it must give everybody at the club a boost, particularly Craig Gordon, I have to say, given the injury he had.
Yeah, I think that for them all, in their own ways, they've all got different qualities that add to the squad, and that's on the pitch and off the pitch. I must say that we have been a good group, even when they've not been in the squads, they've been around it. But yeah, having them there and having them being able to come on the pitch and make a difference is the biggest thing for us as coaching staff and as a club. They're big assets to the club, and we want to be able to use them, so that definitely gives us a boost.
You've had 4 wins on the bounce against teams, to be fair, in the lower half of the league. How important is it for you and for Hearts that you start winning games against the opposition, the teams that you're going to be up against for these European spots?
I think every game's important. I think it's probably easy to make a claim of beat the big teams at the bottom, but Motherwell got a draw at Celtic, and every game in this league's different. It's competitive and they're tough. I think for somebody to turn around and basically say, oh, that's a win against it, it's no simple as that. Each team cause their problems. Yes, you need to be more aggressive in some games, you need to be more defensive, you need to change maybe what your preferred things are to do because of the surface or the conditions, but each game in this league's tough. I think the results have shown it. But for us tonight, being at home, no matter who we're playing, we want to be competitive, we want to be aggressive, and we want to cause them more problems than they cause us. I think tonight, on paper, and I expect it to be an entertaining game.
In terms of playing Rangers the third time since Philippe Clement took over, can't be any surprises, can there?
I think you do gain a wee bit from each performance in each game. I think you're watching them most weeks anyway, the teams you're coming up against, but the one thing is clear that he's got an understanding from the players, and he's got them to buy into everything he's wanting to do, and they've been on a good run. The way their performances have been different in different games, but their points collection has been good, and we know it'll be tough, but we're a good team, and we can cause teams problems as well, so hopefully tonight we can do that.
Thanks, Stephen, good luck.
Thank you.
The Hearts manager, Stephen Naismith there. What a game is in store at Tynecastle this evening. Let's now hear the thoughts of the Rangers manager, Philippe Clement. He's also been chatting with Brian.
Philippe, welcome to the capital, chilly capital as it is these days at the moment. A couple of changes tonight, and most notably no Borna Barisic. What's the situation with him?
Borna have a small muscle problem after the game, so he was not able to play the game, so that's why he's not in the selection.
You seem to be rotating your strikers at the moment. What's the key behind this in terms of bringing in Danilo tonight?
No, we have a lot of games, 12 games in 37 days. That's a lot. It's impossible to play all these games with the same players. And the offensive players, I expect a lot of them. Not only when we have the ball, but also without the ball, to put good pressing. So that costs energy, and we need freshness also to score goals. So it's important to keep a good balance in that, for sure, in a period like this.
10 games in the door, 7 wins, 3 draws. Are you happy with what you've seen so far?
If I see where the place was a few weeks ago and now, it's a big difference in many senses. But with the 3 draws, could have been more points. Were games where we were better than the opponent, where we could have taken more points. So that was the ideal scenario. But I'm not somebody who looks too much back. I look always to the next game and then to get the maximum out of that. And then we can make a good evaluation at the end of the season. That's always important. During the season, it's important to look to the next game and put all the focus in that.
Was there one thing in particular you felt you had to change? Was it or just a mindset?
No, a lot of things have changed already. Maybe not all the things that people see, but that the players know. And I think to make a run of 7 wins and 3 draws is already a sign of consistency. I think we have been the most consistent team in the league until now in that period, and we need to go on that road. It's not easy because of the situation with all the injured players coming back out of injury who don't have the game rhythm. You don't have much time to train, or almost no time to train, so to put them to a good level. But I know if we can go in a good way, and we're going to do that to this tense period, that we're going to come stronger out of it.
And finally, although it's your only 11th game, it's your third against Hearts. No secrets then, is there? Both teams will know one another very well.
No, of course, and of course they can do always small changements. They put 2 new players in. They didn't play that much before, but we know the players. We make always good analysis of the opponents and what the possibilities are there with their team. So no surprises in that way, but we know they're really hungry to win this game, and I expect a more aggressive Hearts than in the Cup semi-final.
Appreciate the time, Philip. Good luck.
Please.
Thank you.
Philip, come on there. Kick-off at Tynecastle is 8 o'clock. Full commentary to come. There's the option of online commentary from Celtic Park. Celtic against Hibs. We heard about an early goal for the home side there. Let's get a quick update from our reporter, Martin Dowden.
Yeah, still Celtic 1, Aberdeen 0, just 11 minutes into the 90 thus far. Just a point of clarification, our commentary team believed it was Carter Vickers. It appears might have got the slightest of touch just on the line. If that is the case, then that's a big boost for him coming into replace Kyogo up front. A chance there from Mikey Johnstone, just trying to create a bit of space. And as you'd expect, it is mostly Celtic. Hibs are really struggling to get up the pitch. That blow of losing the goal, really soft from them from a set piece. That has Celtic 1 up and coasting so far.
So there is the option of online commentary. Martin will bring us all the news from that game. Let's then get to the early stages at Pittodrie. Aberdeen against Kilmarnock there for us. Willie Miller.
Yeah, Kenny, not a great deal in it. Both sides playing some decent football. Conditions pretty good. A little bit of wind in the air. Johnny Hayes has been productive down the left-hand side for Aberdeen, and Kel Fissell has been a real threat up top, but no big opportunities for either side. I'm hoping that this game bursts into life very soon.
Let's hope so. St Johnstone are taking on St Mirren in Perth this evening there for us. Kerry Nidsan.
12 minutes played here, 0-0. St Mirren are bossing the ball. They've played most of the match so far in their opponent's half. The only real thing of note that's happened is a head knock between Max Kushiravi of St Johnstone and St Mirren's Scott Tanzer. It's meant that Kushiravi has had to go off after only 8 minutes, so he's been replaced by Sven Sprangler. So an early blow for St Johnstone, 0-0.
There are games, 6 games in English top flight. Early goals, Brighton 0, Brentford 1, Crystal Palace 0, Bournemouth 1. That's you right up to. Let's then get to Tynecastle. Hearts against Rangers in the Premiership, and I'll hand you to our commentary team there, Lee McCulloch and Liam McLeod.
Good evening. Yes, third host second in the Scottish Premiership here under the lights at Tynecastle Park as Hearts take on Rangers. Both teams victorious at the weekend. Indeed, Philippe Clement still unbeaten in his 10 matches in charge of Rangers. Hearts on their best run of the season. 4 successive league wins have been reeled off as they usurp St Mirren in third spot in the Premiership. This has been a problematic fixture for them recently. Just 2 wins out of their last 25, 1-21 in the league. And what is the third meeting between them this season? You heard Brian talking to the respective managers about the fact this is the third game in 5.5 weeks between them. Rangers winning both in Glasgow, the first at Ibrox 2-1, 1-0 down to Shanklin's early header. Wonderful header it was. A penalty from Tavernier, having missed one at the end of the first half in that game, before Danilo with a header won it late on. Hearts felt aggrieved after that result, but they'd no complaints as Rangers beat them 3-1 in the League Cup semi 7 days later at Hampden. So they're looking to redress some of the balance at Edinburgh's Maroon and White, and they are going to kick off right to left as we watch from the back of the Wheatfield stand, opposite the main stand. We're just underneath where the TV cameras are housed here. You know the stadium, and Hearts will shoot towards the school end, the Roseburn stand, where that pocket of about 800 or 900 Rangers supporters occupies the far right of it as we look at it. As Hearts again limit away supporters, with the exception of their neighbours Hibs when they come here. Rangers in the blue shirts, white shorts, white socks left to right, will shoot towards Gorgie Road in this first half. Just about ready to go. The referee Willie Collum, his video assistant tonight is Stephen McLean, and it's game on at Tynecastle as it's rolled back to Kai Rolls, who collects and runs up towards the halfway line, crosses the halfway line, dinks the left football out to the far side, but it's headed in field by the returning Atkinson. Straight to Rivan Yilmaz though, Shanklin pressing him, and Yilmaz knocks it off the Hearts striker and captain, and it goes behind for the goal kick. Of course, the club captain of Hearts, Lee McCulloch, is Craig Gordon, who makes a welcome return to the matchday squad for the first time in almost a year. Big headline news for the Jambos.
Yeah, he'll be delighted to be back. He's worked ever so hard after such a horrible injury, and it's a big boost, as Stephen Naismith said before the match in his interview. Big psychological boost for the dressing room, but a massive one for him as well. Having half an eye getting on that plane.
for Germany next summer is the man in charge of the Hearts goalkeeping position since then, Zander Clark, who's in tonight, also looking to be on the plane to Germany next summer and that finals. As Rangers pick up a feel of the ball on the right-hand side, they got a throw-in level with the edge of the circle. Tavernier works a couple of 1-2s with Lawrence, who knocks it through. Cantwell flicks on. Danilo isn't getting there though, and Kingsley wallops it forward out to this near side. And now it's Tagawa, who's starting for Hearts for just the second time, and he's whipped to the ground there by Tavernier, and that's an obvious free kick for Hearts. And I think the home supporters are wanting the Rangers skipper booked rather than just penalised. It will be a free kick to Hearts, level with the edge of the centre circle in Rangers territory over on this near side, the Hearts left.
Yeah, Tagawa done well. He just muscled Tavernier off the ball and then get away from him. Tavernier tackling from behind. It's a definite foul. I'm not sure. It's a booking for me, but it gives a chance for Hearts to throw the ball in the box.
It's going to be taken by George Grant. It's a switch of play out towards the right-hand side. It's headed clear by Sima, who scored both Rangers goals in their weekend win over St Mirren. The ball's returned forward here. Shanklin giving chase. Yilmaz with the challenge and out for a Hearts throw-in. Level with the Rangers penalty spot over on the far side. I'll keep you up to date, or we'll keep you up to date with what's happening in the 3 other Premiership matches this evening. Remember, Celtic leading early against Hibs 1-0. Either O or Carter Vickers getting the final touch on that one. It's 1-0 to the champions though, so Rangers already having to respond to that. But it is Hearts doing the attacking just now. Long throw-in comes into the Rangers box. It's a bit too high for Shankland and flicked away by Danilo, and young Ross McCausland clips it clear out on this near side. Cochrane's header looking to keep the attack alive. Given away though by Frankie Kent in the midfield. Sima picks up wide in the left, rolls it back to Yilmaz. And with John Lundstrom with a long left foot raking ball down this near side. McCausland the target, but Cochrane's there to head it back to Zander Clark inside his own box. We're on 3 goalless minutes here in the capital. And it's picked up by Kent, who rolls it forward to Nieuwenhof. Back into his own penalty area for Kent. Little ball out to the right there for Kingsley, who can be deployed just about anywhere across that back four these days. Chested down by Tagawa to Shanklin, and then Grant, poor ball in behind Shanklin, but the Hearts captain's able to get onto it eventually. Rolls, finds Cochrane to Shanklin, midway inside Rangers territory. Grant to Shanklin again, holding off McCausland. Now it's Cochrane back onto the halfway line for Kai Rolls, and he goes back to Kent. But Hearts showing some good early confident possession in this match, Lee.
Yeah, there's a couple of good phases of play there, but what I've noticed right from the start, Frankie Kent not scared to go long into Tagawa, into Shanklin, playing off second balls. Even with the throw in the right-hand side there, Stephen Kingsley, long throw into the box, just being a little bit more direct, as touched on at the start of the show, of how they started the season. I think they were overplaying at the start of the season. This time, I think they're just going, they're not scared to go direct.
Back with Clark at the edge of his 6-yard box, first time with the right foot up towards halfway, sliced into it, awkward bounce for Goldson, but he manages to shrug off Shanklin's presence and finds a teammate. It's Lawrence out to the right for Tavernier, pings the ball, looking for Seaman, kills it on the chest, left hand side of the box, he's towards the byline, plays it off Kingsley, breaks back to Seaman at the corner flag, first time back to the edge of the box for Lundstrom, who flicks it towards Yilmaz, left foot cross, takes a touch off Kingsley, it's headed away by Kent. Only as far as Cantwell, whose pass goes in behind Lawrence. McCausland's going to keep it in play on the near side. He's done well. Flicks it in field to Lawrence, who couldn't quite return the favour, and out for a throw into Hearts on this near side. There was a little nervy groan from the Hearts fans, Lee, when Abdallah Sima killed the ball on the chest there, left-hand side of the box. He just got too tight an angle to deal with.
Yeah, it was a great ball for Tavernier again. It was like a switch of play, crossfield pass. Stephen Kingsley just got caught under the ball, and Sima took his touch beyond, but Kingsley get back to get the block tackle in. It was a little bit direct for Rangers as well. I think the game's still to settle down. It's still early stages of the match.
It's a fabulous victory for Ross County at home to Motherwell. Last night 3-0, tonight Celtic 1, Hibs 0. Goalless here in the very early stages. We're 15 minutes later kicking off than the other 3 which are taking place tonight in the top flight. And goalless at McDermott and Pataudry. Comes back to Jack Butland, who gets a feel of the ball just outside the 6-yard box, taking his time over it. He's got Leon Balogun to his left, or he decides to go long with the right foot, looking for Sima. Kingsley's underneath it, wins the header, flicking it out to that right-hand side. Atkinson losing out though, now it's Seema. Yilmaz with the initial challenge, and now it's a chance here for Rangers with Danilo. Flashes it across the face of goal. Nobody in blue there to tuck it home though, and it goes behind for a goal kick. The reverse side of the goal frame, and stays Hearts 0, Rangers 0 on 6.
Just a little worry for, if I was a Hearts fan, Nathaniel Atkinson's not really started. A couple of times been brushed off the ball. They've broke down, Danilo's broke down the left-hand side, but a ball in right across the 6-yard line. I was expecting McCausland to get there. Maybe he couldn't, maybe I was asking too much of him. But a little bit concerned about Atkinson's start.
It's his first action since the middle of September, that 1-0 defeat at St Mirren, so he's been out for a while. Gordon, Halkett and Mackay all back on the Hearts bench tonight. We might see one or two of those emerge later on. Hearts have a throw in the right, which can do nothing with, and he eventually comes all the way through to Jack Butland, who bowls it short to Goldson. Clips it forward, it's a poor one, straight into touch for a Hearts throw-in on this near side, level with the edge of the centre circle inside their own half. And it must be a boost, not just for the players coming back from injury, but for their teammates as well, because these are important cogs in the squad in what is a long season. And what Hearts will hope, okay, they're out the League Cup, they're not in the final next week, but they will hope that this can still be an extremely successful campaign. As Shanklin collects the scraps in the midfield, clips it forward to Grant, a lovely touch away from Goldson, once, twice, decides to have another go at him, and that's where it all breaks down, and Yilmaz gets it back to his keeper, who launches it forward, and it stays goalless. But it looked as though that was opening up beautifully for Grant. He just overcooked it.
Great play for George Grant there. It's a great pass through to him. He's twisted twice for Balogun. He actually gets away from it as Yilmaz gets back in and passes it back to Butland, but he's unlucky. Grant's got that. He's got ability. He can twist and turn. He just needs to add a little bit of final product to his play.
Just felt Grant, if he goes on the outside, he might have got a bit of joy. But here's Cochrane for Hearts. They've started well. Down the line for Tagawa. Tagawa spinning Tavernier. Still he goes down the left-hand side. Goldson covering across as well. The cross is blocked by Goldson, and Rangers come away with it with Lawrence to McCausland on the right. Ross McCausland up to the halfway line. His pass goes straight to Benny Beninghamino. And now it is with Cochrane, left of the centre circle. And he rolls it back to Kingsley, who squares it to Kent. There's no question Hearts have settled the better in these very early stages, not even 10 minutes in. They're popping the ball around pretty well. Won their last 4 on the bounce, but Grant's flick goes straight to Tavernier, and now it's with Lundstrom in the centre circle. Little ball back to Balogun. Goldson square if he wants him. Balogun elects to play it to the right for Lawrence, and now it's with Tavernier. Goes across the halfway line, low ball forward to Cantwell, pushes it back to Lawrence. His long ball forward is going to go behind for the goal kick. Sander Clark marshalling it all the way. In 9 minutes, it's 0-0. Celtic with the only goal of the game, or the only goal of the evening, and the game's been played tonight, and that one has them 1-0 up on Hibernian. Glasgow against Edinburgh, either ends of the M8 this evening. Since losing at Ibrox at the end of October, those 4 successive top-flight league wins for Hearts, the first time since they won the first 5 in 2018. Going back over 5 years, managed to string this kind of winning run together in the league. And Shanklin collects it from Kingsley. Infield it comes to Grant. Grant tried to poke it back to Shanklin. He must have known Shanklin wasn't there, but he had it in his head. That's where the ball was going. Hooker by Crook, and it goes out for a throw-in to Rangers over on the far side.
I agree with you, Liam. I think Hearts have started the game a little bit better. Rangers a little bit scrappy, I'd say, in possession. A couple of wayward passes. Goldson straight out the pitch. Yilmaz giving it away under no pressure there, showing a little bit of rustiness that he's been out for a little while. So they need to settle down. The game needs to settle. It's Atkinson giving the ball away.
Yeah, it's poor.
Again for Hearts.
Yeah, Lawrence out to McCausland. Back infield to Lawrence. Takes a touch. Oh, it's a brilliant ball towards Seema, but it's headed behind for the corner. It's a really important intervention, you would have to say, from Frankie Kent, because Seema's lingering in behind him, looking for a tap-in. It stays 0-0. First corner of the evening for Rangers on the right-hand side, to be taken by Tavernier.
Great clearance for Frankie Kent there. He opened up his body well. He could see Seema, and he knew he had to make contact with it, and he's put it out for a corner. It's a good chance for Rangers, this.
Outswinger. The Rangers captain, Wheatfield stands side, rolls it short to the right angle for Cantwell, slides it to the edge of the D for Yilmaz. It's a poor ball, it's broken down horrendously, and Shankland's popped it through to Grant, who's going to return it to Shankland. Does he have the pace? Not quite. Lundstrom gets the other side of him, he shrugs him off though, and lashes it high over the bar from just the edge of the D. He just didn't quite have the pace to burn away from John Lundstrom, did Shankland, and eventually is to resort to the long-range effort, which goes high over the bar into the school end, and it stays Hearts 0, Rangers 0 on 11.
Yeah, Rangers try to be clever with the corner, trying a set play from the training ground. Yilmaz gets caught at the edge of his own box, counter-attacks on for Hearts. Slip pass through to Lorne Shanklin. He's in a foot race with Lundstrom, and Lundstrom was winning it all day, but he did manage to get shot away just above the bar. He'll be disappointed with it.
Danilo brought down over on the far side. Willie Collins giving Rangers a free kick right in the touchline, midway inside the Hearts half, over on that main stand side. Lee, that is another example, and you'll know this, at how much Hearts miss Josh Ginnelly.
Yeah,
if that's Ginnelly running in behind, he's in and goal.
Yeah, I think that's why Vargas was brought in. Speaking to Joe Savage before the game, as a club and as a coaching staff, sporting director, they know they needed a little bit of pace. It's just unfortunate Vargas is injured with his pace. Ginnelly was always going to be a big miss, but Shanklin there, it's not Lawrence's game.
Free kick Rangers, and it comes cleared by Shanklin. The delivery from Tavernier wasn't his best. It's picked up by Yilmaz on the halfway line, and he goes back to the edge of his own box for Butland, who plays it short. First time to Lundstrom, looks up at the pitch ahead of him and drives it forward with the right foot, but it's going to go out of play for a throw-in. It's a poor ball. He was looking for Seema, who'd come over to the right-hand side. 0-0 here. Let's get an update over in Glasgow from Martin Dowden watching Celtic Hibs.
Still Celtic 1, Hibernian 0. Oh, getting the final touch from Carter Figures. Flick on from a corner. They've had a couple of decent chances since then. Oh, again, just couldn't get the ball over the line from Alistair Johnston's wonderful cross. Then Callum McGregor fired one from round about 25 yards. Just diverted past by Marshall. Nothing really from Hibs going forward, but Palmer almost got one as well, just inside the 6-yard box. It was diverted away by Bashuri. Almost an own goal there, but still Celtic 1, Hibernian 0.
Hibs without a win at Celtic Park since January 2010. Danny Galbraith scored the late winner after Stokes had cancelled out a Fortuny opener. As Rangers come forward, it's rolled back there to Cantwell by Balogun, who's popped up wide on the left. Here is John Lundstrom midway inside his own half. Now it's Lawrence. We'll get to the other two matches in just a moment. A suitable break in play. Rangers making heavy weather in the early stages of this game though. Hearts have it with Atkinson wide on the right, looking to turn away from Yilmaz. Cantwell battling for it, goes out of play, and it's going to be a Rangers throw-in, much to the annoyance of Stephen Naismith and the Hearts fans around about us, as well as those with the best view of all of the incident over in the main stand on the far side. Willie Miller watching Aberdeen Kilmarnock at Pittodrie.
Yeah, still goal this year, Liam, but a couple of big opportunities. One for the Dons, it was Duke and McGrath cross from the right-hand side. Duke managed to evade his marker. He should have done better. He's about 8 yards out. It's a weak header, and it's easily taken by Dennis. And then Liam Donnelly, a corner from the left-hand side, and he's met it with his forehead. It's a really good save from Roos, who managed to just touch it over the bar. So the game is livening up a little bit, but still 0-0.
Killie have won 2 of the last 3 against Aberdeen, having won just 1 of the previous 33. Let's go then to McDermott Park. Aberdeen watching St Johnstone St Mirren.
Nearly half an hour played here as St Johnstone nearly take the lead. That's probably their best chance. That's straight down the throat though of the Saints goalkeeper Zach Hemming from Matt Smith. A few minutes ago though, St Mirren thought they absolutely had to score. St Johnstone were playing out from the back. Dan Phillips made the mistake. He was robbed by Ayunga. He was bearing in on goal, but a lovely tackle thwarted him. It fell to Kilty, who thought he was going to tap into an empty net, but a combination of defender and goalkeeper got it over the bar, so it's still 0-0 here.
It's just the 1 goal in the 4 matches being played this evening. Just over 15 minutes played here. It's 0-0. There's a stoppage though, and that is because Tom Lawrence is down. Of course, hasn't had his injury problems to seek. Spent an entire year out, having joined Rangers the summer before last. And the Rangers number 11, Lee, is sitting down receiving treatment. But you think you might be in trouble here?
Yeah, I didn't see any contact on him. I don't know if it's his knee or his calf. He has had his injury troubles, and it'll be a big blow for Rangers. He's very technical, he's got composure, he can turn the ball, he can spot a pass. It'll be a big blow for Rangers. Rangers, for me, have not started at all. Some of their passing has been off it. I think Sima was in there for a crossfield pass from Tavernier. For Tavernier, it's an early pass, but he's passed it, sort of hooked it, and it's went right out the pitch. That's a couple of times Rangers just passed the ball out the pitch. They need to get together and get a little bit of composure into this game.
Now, Brian's had a chance to see what has happened to Tom Lawrence, who is back to his feet. Brian?
Yeah, it looks like a left knee problem for Lawrence, and Philippe Clement's just had a conversation with his backroom team. It looks as if Jose Cifuentes will be the player who will be coming on to replace Lawrence after just 16, nearly 17 minutes, Liam.
Yeah, it's a blow for Tom Lawrence personally. His manager would have hoped to get a run of games, but injury problems returning to haunt Tom Lawrence. He started his career off really well last season. The Rangers having to make that change, but they're down to 10 temporarily just now, so they're holding off on it at the moment. They're just getting the sub ready, and Jose Cifuentes will be on shortly. Hearts going to take advantage of the numerical advantage they currently have out in the pitch. Long ball from Kent. The answer to that is no, by the looks of things, because Kent has just dumped that straight into touch for a Rangers throw-in on this near side, and Jose Cifuentes is ready to come on earlier than he was expecting to replace Tom Lawrence. As we said, it's not a full house in here tonight. It's always packed, of course, but there are empty seats around the stadium, and the Hearts fans aren't too impressed as Cifuentes makes his way onto the pitch. It will be a throw into Rangers down in this near side to be taken by Tavernier. The Rangers captain over it. It's been a similar start by Rangers to the game at Pittodrie a couple of weeks back. Tavernier slices the ball out for a throw-in on this near side. It's been a few of them from Rangers players. It was 10 days ago they drew at Aberdeen, scoring that late penalty, but they didn't play well in the first half of that game. Much better in the second, and we'll feel they deserved a point out of it, but this has been a sloppy start to proceedings by the visitors, and so far Hearts haven't been able to make the breakthrough. 0-0 in the 19th minute. They have it to the home team in the centre circle. Kent flashing it out to Atkinson over on the right. Heavy touch. He's tried the big switch, but that was in panic mode from Atkinson after the poor first touch. Almost allowed the challenge to be made, and he puts it straight out for a Rangers throw-in on this near side.
Atkinson's not started at all. I think even if the fans are starting to get on his backs, a couple of touches he's had, a couple of times he's been slacking in possession. He's passed the ball right out the pitch there again. I must say, the level of passing tonight hasn't been great. I think I'm counting maybe 5 or 6 that's went straight out the pitch. I know it's still early doors in the match, and it's still a little bit frantic. Probably the game's still to settle, but you're expecting just a little bit more, a little bit better.
If Hearts can win this game, they go to within 5 points of Rangers, having both played the same number of matches. So it's a decent incentive. Kent takes the free kick, clipping it to the right-hand side. Balogun wins an easy header this time and finds Danilo. Flicks it into the centre circle. Here's Cifuentes. Rolls it out to McCausland on the right-hand side. Faced by Kai Rolls. McCausland jinks in field. Away from the Aussie, up towards the edge of the penalty area. Finds Danilo, looking for space, shifts onto the left. Back to McCausland, left foot shot blocked. Breaks to Sima, bounces off him. Off Atkinson. Sima gives chase. He and Danilo on the left-hand side of the box. It's Sima back to Lundstrom. Now Yilmaz crossing in, headed away by Frankie Kent and picked up by Atkinson, who knocks it out for a Rangers throw-in over on the far side, though he probably had more time in his hands than he realised. And it means that Rangers continue in the attacking thirds. Played off Grant for another throw-in to Rangers. There's been a second goal at Celtic Park. Is it an equaliser for Hibs, or has Celtic got some insurance, Martin Dowden?
It's Celtic 2, Hibernian 0. It's Lewis Palmer who danced down the left. He just cut a ball just to the edge of the 6-yard box, and there was Matt O'Reilly coming in. He just sent a header away from David Marshall. Celtic 2, Hibernian 0.
Well, it looks like Celtic will remain unbeaten in the Premiership unless there is a remarkable turnaround. I do remember 12, 13 seasons ago seeing Hibs coming from 2-0 down to get a point at Celtic Park, but it would seem unlikely. Matt O'Reilly's having a fabulous season, scores again, and it's Celtic leading Hibs by 2-0. Goalless at Pittodrie and McDermott. As it is here, the 8 o'clock kickoff. They will be getting into the final 10 minutes or so in the other matches tonight. Here is Cifuentes, scrappy game here at Tynecastle. Cifuentes away from Cochrane, rolls it to the edge of the box where it's cleared by Nieuwenhof. Picked up on the halfway line by Goldson, forward to Lundstrom, to Tavernier, wide right for McCausland, infield to Cantwell, back out wide right for Tavernier, steps in field, low ball to the edge of the area for Cifuentes. Now it's Lundstrom, probably Rangers' best passing movement of the match. Lundstrom switching it back out to McCausland on the right, controls in the knee, moves infield away from Cochrane. Is at the edge of the area, dinks it into the box, looking for Danilo. Poor touch allows Kingsley to knock it out for a Rangers throw-in on this near side. But as we approach the end of the first quarter of this, it does seem as though Rangers are beginning to get a bit of a grip on proceedings.
22 minutes, and that's the best probably passing sequence we've seen. Finish with McCausland, it's starting to look a bit of a threat.
Yilmaz fires the ball in the left angle of the box, the cross, but it's way too far in front of Danilo and Cantwell to be able to do anything with it, and it sails behind for a goal kick to Hearts. Certainly since Lawrence went down and was replaced by Cifuentes, it's been all about what Rangers are doing. As the long ball from Kent in the centre circle finds Grant. Now Beningame turns towards his own goal, turns the other way, moves up towards the halfway line, and then gets caught in a fankle and gives it straight to Cifuentes. There's nobody showing for him. At least he didn't feel there was a strong enough option. He's ended up losing it. Here's Cantwell, long ping ball with the right foot looking for Abdallah Sima, headed half away by Atkinson. Sima's onto it, the overlap comes from Yilmaz. It's in behind the defender, but it's too close to Xander Clark, who holds on, and it stays Hearts 0, Rangers 0.
Rangers just starting to play down the left-hand side with the crossfield passes, playing on Atkinson. I feel that they're going direct, they're looking for Sima over the top of him. They're trying to drag him out to get him in 1v1s. They obviously feel that's a weak point in the Hearts team. And I think so far in the match it actually has been.
Tagawa for Hearts, up the other end, right-footed into Nieuwenhof, now with Grant at the right angle of the Rangers box. Overlap comes from Atkinson, he's onto it now, faced by Yilmaz, gets through the legs of Yilmaz, gets the break of the ball into the box. Shankland, back to Atkinson, back to Shankland, saved by Butland, but the rebound is blocked by Tavernier. It's Cochrane, who has his head in his hands, best chance of the game, falls to heart of Midlothian. Shankland and Cochrane both had bites at it, and Alex Cochrane still can't believe that he's not scored on the rebound from the Butland save. Came off Tavernier, who didn't know much about it. It stays Hearts 0, Rangers 0 on 24.
Yeah, that man that I've just spoke about, Atkinson, great run down the right-hand side, crosses it in, Shankland's got a chance. It deflects, and then Cochrane should really score. He's played it, it's come off Tavernier's chest, I think it is. There was a VAR check there, but obviously no penalty. But good play for Hearts, really good play, looking dangerous.
In comes the long throw in, Balogun has a little slice at it, and Yilmaz completes the clearance. Well, that was much better from the home team, but they really should be ahead. Shankland's initial effort saved by Butland as Rangers come away in a counter. He has an important cutout by Kent because Sima's in behind him. Instead it's Hearts with Grant, now Shankland. Shankland stepping away from Cantwell, rolls it back to Nieuwenhof, long ball, Tagawa gives chase, headed clear by Balogun and killed on the left knee by Lundstrom, who then swivels, turns and passes it up the line for Sima. The challenge comes from Nieuwenhof and out for a throw into Rangers, which is taken quickly into the midfield for Cifuentes. Now Tavernier galloping across halfway, but a space to work in. Tavernier rolls it out to McCausland on this near side. Again, he skips in field, leaves Cochrane for dead, finds Tavernier in the right-hand side of the box. Delicate chip ball, flicked away at the back stick there by Atkinson. The scraps will be collected by Abdallah Sima wide on the left on the main stand side. Steps in field away from Atkinson, chip ball in, headed clear by Rolls. And then Grant goes back to Atkinson, who clears. Up to Tagawa, Tavernier pinching it off of him though. Back to Balogun in the centre circle and out to Tavernier wide on the right. Rangers with the attacking play right now, but just in the last few minutes has been going from one end to the other, and there's yet another unforced error, this time from a Rangers player. Here's Atkinson in the centre circle, forward to Tagawa, holding off Goldson, he gets a little touch onto it, just enough to take it away from Tagawa. Hearts have it back with Grant, and now it's with Shankland. Little ball out to the right-hand side, chance here, potentially, for Hearts with Kingsley. Moving in field, midway inside the Rangers half, he finds Beningame, back to Rolls. The Hearts supporters want them to go for the kill here. Cochrane taking on McCausland, he does well, and it's out of play for a Hearts throw-in, level with the Rangers penalty spot, wide on this left-hand side, nothing each. But it's certainly all action right now.
Yeah, a little bit tit for tat with counter-attacking, and there's been no real clear-cut chances apart from Cochrane, who, for me, should have scored. Actually, with the chance of the back post, it's come off Tavernier. But it's not been a great spectacle so far in the game, and we're in the 27th minute. Just looking for a little bit of composure from both teams.
Flicked away by Cifuentes. Here's Grant, lovely footwork from Grant. He's found Kent. Kent, a little shot from the edge of the box, but I think it's because he was waiting for an option. There wasn't one right or left. Here's a go, it's deflected behind for the corner. And Frankie Kent, as his arms outstretched at Willie Collum there, clearly feels there was an infringement at the edge of the box. They're going to have to settle right now for the corner as they look for the opening goal.
Hard to tell if there's anything in that. George Grant again skips past two Rangers players, puts it to the side. Kent's tried a shot at goal, it's went behind for a corner, and then they want the foul for George Grant. I think Willie Collum's played advantage there.
Cochrane left-footed corners flicked away by Sima, and Yilmaz completes the clearance out for a Hearts throw-in over on the reverse main stand side. Kingsley already trying the ball down with his maroon jersey as the home team try and find the lead here. Again, it's level with the Rangers penalty spot. They're throwing over in this near side in a similar position a minute or two ago, and it comes to the box, headed away by Sima. And then the bouncing ball misjudged by Beningame, and Danilo's onto it, driving up towards the halfway line. Clips it to McCausland. Can he get the good touch? Yes, he can. He's away from Cochrane. Atkinson trying to get back at him. McCausland steps in to his left-hand side, and it's pinched back by Cochrane, who redeems the situation and clears it up towards Goldson as the ricochet bounces off Tagawa, fortuitously back to Goldson, and now it's Lundstrom forward to Cantwell, almost on 29 0-0. It's been exciting without being a good football match.
Yeah, good play there. Danilo to McCausland, attacking transition. McCausland goes down the right, he cuts inside, and he's just unlucky.
Yeah, and here's Sima with the effort blocked, and the rebound goes in.
Offside.
Cantwell, but the flag goes up. It was Cantwell's effort. I think it's deflected in, but the flag goes up against him on this near side, and a little nervy sigh of relief from the Hearts supporters inside Tynecastle as we approach the half-hour mark at Hearts 0, Rangers 0.
Yeah, again a little bit scrappy. Ball gets put in the box. It falls to Cantwell. He just turns, puts it in the net. The linesman's flags up straight away, but we've got a VAR check, I believe.
I'm hearing Danilo was in an offside position, Brian.
Yeah, absolutely spot on. Yeah, Danilo was about a yard offside when Cantwell hit the ball towards goal. Clear cut offside, absolutely spot on decision by the far side linesman, who I think is Jonathan Bell.
It is Jonathan Bell, you're right, Brian. Indeed it is, and there's the VAR check officially over. Stephen McLean is on video assistant duties this evening, and it's game on at 0-0, and it's Beningame with the cushion headed out to the near side. 2-0, remember, Celtic against Hibs, O's 4th of the season, O'Reilly's 8th of the season. 2-0, 0-0 at Pittodrie between Aberdeen and Kilmarnock, and the Battle of the Saints in Perth. Here come Hearts, Atkinson with the header forward. He was looking for Shankland, cut out by Yilmaz, Rangers clear. I think both sets of supporters will be a little bit frustrated with how this game's going. Perhaps more so the Rangers fans, because Hearts have had that glorious opportunity spurned by Alex Cochrane. And there's another ball given away by Rangers, straight to Beningame. And now Grant. Kind of feel Hearts have to take advantage of this, because you can't see Rangers playing like this for 90 minutes.
No, I can't. They've not been terrible, but there's just some slackness coming in their play from different players. They need to just, it's only 5 and 10 yard passes, and they just seem a little bit, it might be concentration levels, I don't know what it is, but they can't be like this for all the match. I completely agree, Hearts have got to take advantage of one of their chances. They've not done it so far. I just feel as if Rangers are going to start growing into this game now.
Yeah, Cifuentes moving towards the edge of the Hearts box, infield Danilo, poor touch, allows the challenge to be made by Kent, and Grant is brought down by Cifuentes, and that'll be a free kick to Hearts, centre point midway inside their own half. It's half time at Celtic Park, and the champions 2-0 up against Aberdeen at the interval, and Hibs, who themselves have gone on a little mini winning run, looks like coming to an end in Glasgow tonight, thanks to those goals from O and O'Reilly in the first half. Long way back for the green and white half of Edinburgh. Long ball here, 0-0, as it is in the other two, which will be coming towards half-time just now. We've still got 13 of the 45 as Atkinson comes to the edge of the box. Shanklin's ball cut out by Lundstrom, pinched back by Nieuwenhof. Now it's with Grant. Rolls it with the right foot to the left angle of the box for Cochrane, looking for space to cross, which he does. And it's headed behind for the corner by Connor Goldson. Hearts 0, Rangers 0. Hearts pressing for the opening goal.
Yeah, getting a little bit more dominance. The ball goes wide now. Hearts are just delivering it. Cochrane there, his first thought when he opens up receiving the ball out wide left is, can I put a cross in the box? And he put a great ball in. It was good defending for Goldson. But I think this is the directness that I was talking about before the game that Hearts have maybe started doing under Stephen Naismith the last few games.
In from Cochrane, delivered to the right angle of the box, headed well wide there though by Kingsley, and that will be a goal kick to Rangers, and it will remain goalless here at Tynecastle. One of the biggest issues that Rangers have had over the last 18 months is they keep conceding the opening goal in games. They're finding really good resilience to come back into matches and win games that they've trailed in, and it will be something that Philippe Clement will be hoping to try and rid the team of, as that slipped through towards Sima. He's got it behind, chance, goal Rangers. Abdallah Sima rolls it through the legs of Clark and into the net. He celebrates with outstretched arms. Sima's found his goal touch again. Hearts ripped open by one single pass, and all of a sudden it's Hearty Midlothian 0, Rangers 1.
Yeah, just Alfie playing out for the back for goal kick to Rangers. They've played through the third. Tavernier charging forward. Sima's made the run some sort of inside left into striker position. He's bent his run beautifully. Tavernier finds him with a pass. He gets the run off. I think it's Frankie Kent. Sima does him for pace. He's 1-on-1. Xander Clark, I think, could have done a little bit better. He's about 20 yards out for his goal. Does he wait in his line? I don't know. I'll leave it for a goalkeeping expert. But Sima, another goal. Very composed finish. 1-0 Rangers.
That is Abdallah Sima's 12th goal of the season. He's the top scorer alongside James Tavernier. And it's 1-0 with 10 of the first half to play for the visitors, who have to react. They simply have to react. Celtic leading Hibs 2-0 at the interval there. The half-time whistles will be going at Pittodrie and at McDermott Park. In the other two games being played this evening, they remain goalless though. And it's Rangers who make the breakthrough, and it's come after a decent spell of Hearts attacking pressure as well. And now Hearts have to find a route back on terms. They've been pretty good defensively since the defeat at Ibrox in league games. Just that Blair Spittle goal for Motherwell had breached them in the winning run of 4. But Sima, the calm finish. And it is 1-0 to Rangers, and it's Balogun back to Goldson, who finds Butland, and now it's with Tavernier. But once again, you don't take your chances, especially against Celtic and Rangers in this country. Then you could be punished, and Hearts have been punished. After Shanklin and Cochrane both had glorious opportunities. It's a great Butland firstly from Shanklin, but Cochrane has to do better on the follow-up. Lee certainly felt that was the case, and they've been made to pay the price.
Yeah, definitely, and I think Rangers maybe get away with one there, but it's poor defending from Hearts, and I personally I think Zander Clark can do a little bit better, maybe hold his position and let the defender recover back in, but it wasn't to be. My only worry for Hearts is that Shanklin's got 11 goals this season. Hearts' second top goal scorer on 3 goals is own goals for them. So it's not really good reading. You've got George Grant in there that can play, but he needs end product to his game. You've got Tagawa, who's not really featured that much this season. So you need to ask, where are the goals coming from? Beningham's not really renowned for his goals. So it's just a slight concern.
Yeah, Shanklin with 11, 3 own goals. The next is Oda and Forrest with 2. So
own goals, obviously I wasn't stating that as a man.
Yes. Well, let's get an update from Tawdry. Willie Miller.
Hey,
Willie?
Sorry,
are you there? Are you with us?
Yes, I'm here. I'm here, Liam. Yes, I'm here. The entertainment's so exciting that I dropped off.
Right.
It's 0-0 at half-time. Not a great deal of chances. Liam Donnelly for Kilmarnock with that header from the corner kick that was touched over. Duke probably had the best chance of the game. Cross from McGrath down the right-hand side. I thought he should have done better. It was a weak header, and Dennis took it really easily. Majowski had the ball in the back of the net from a Clarkson free kick, but it was away too early and the flag went up, so he was deemed offside. So at half-time here at Pittodrie, it is goalless.
We'll get to Cerdine in just a moment at McDermott Park, but Hearts an attacking long throw-in opportunity. Wheatfield stands side as they attack the Roseburn off to our left. Cochrane bowls it in towards the 6-yard line. There's a Hearts header to win it. Tagawa can't get on to it. It's cleared by Balogun. It's going to be another Cochrane throw-in. Level with the Rangers penalty spot on this Hearts left, as they look for a quick-fire response to going behind to that Sima goal. 7 of the 45 left here in the capital. Cochrane with it. A little bit of a fresh air rather than a flick from Rolls, and that allows Rangers to clear. Atkinson under pressure decides to hook it back over his head. Lundstrom heads clear, then Cifuentes leathers it forward, and a really important block again by Nat Atkinson, because there was 1 or 2 in blue who were about to scamper in behind him and potentially one-on-one with Clark. This comes back to Butland, who knocks it out to Yilmaz. Let's get a quick half-time from Cerradine at McDermott.
It will be quick as well, Liam. St Johnstone 0, St Mirren 0. A disconcerting, disappointing lack of quality about this one. Lewis Jameson had the best chance for St Mirren, but a great defensive scramble by St Johnstone got the ball over the bar. A few half chances, Smith, Carey and Carey again for St Johnstone, but both teams can do better, and I think they'll need to after the break.
Just 1 win in 6 for St Mirren right now, 2 in 10 after their flying start. They've lost each of their last 4 away games. Yilmaz with the ball into the Hearts box. Cantwell with a flick, and it's onto the roof of the net. He's not a million miles away, just inside the 6-yard area. Lifted it over Clark, but over the crossbar as well, and it stays Hearts 0, Rangers 1 here on Sportsound. Heading towards the half-time.
Yilmaz just trying to cross there, took a slight deflection, which the Hearts defence didn't react to. Cantwell was in. For me, Cantwell should have hit the target there. I think he's expecting to be offside, and I don't know what he's thinking, but he's just unlucky.
There's a chance for Rangers. Cantwell inside the D with his back to goal. Shifts it back to Cifuentes. McCausland had made a good run into the box, comes out to Tavernier, whips the cross in, takes a deflection, bounces in the box. It's headed away by Kent. Hearts do not look comfortable defensively. Every time Rangers come forward, they look as though they're in trouble. And here they go again. McCausland to the byline, right-hand side of the box, fires it across, and cleared by Kingsley. Tagawa goes down, bounces straight back up. Goldson goes down, stays down, free kick. And it's gone Rangers' way for a foul on Connor Goldson. Down on this near side by Kyosuke Tagawa. And Rangers have a free kick and a chance to get it into the Hearts box here in the final 5 minutes of the first half. Rangers leading 1-0.
I agree, Liam. I think Hearts is central three, which in my opinion isn't like them. They look a little bit nervous, they look a little bit ragged all over the place. Even their clearances are not getting full contact or the height and distance in their clearances. They're letting runners go. Just a little bit concerning.
Yilmaz will take the free kick, left-footed, bends it in. Oh, it was taken away from Balogun by Danilo, who heads it behind. I think Balogun's in a better position in behind him, and Hearts get away with one there. It's a goal kick to the home team, who trail 1-0. It's a really good ball in by Yilmaz. And once again, the Hearts defence aren't getting there.
Yeah, great delivery, and I don't know if he knows he's behind him, whether he's shouted or not. But if somebody doesn't shout, you've got to try and make contact in the ball. That's what I'll say. So I'm benefit of the doubt. Nobody shouted there. There you go. That's me summing that up.
Reliably informed, incidentally, by Laurie, who works for Hearts Television, that Philippe Clement has played at Tynecastle before in a friendly when he was at Coventry under Gordon Strachan back in the late 90s.
What a stat that is.
I know. I doffed my cap when he told me. It's back with Clark, who clears, the Hearts keeper with the right foot. The header from Goldson into the Hearts half. Cantwell with a header, can only head it out for the Hearts throwing on this near side. Half-time in the other three Premiership matches tonight. Celtic 2, Hibs 0, Aberdeen 0, Kilmarnock 0, and that's the story at the break at McDermott between St Johnstone and St Mirren as well. 0-0 there. 1-0 Rangers. Shankland flicking it forward. Goldson with a little touch finds Tavernier, whose pass almost went astray, but Atkinson can't control, and Lundstrom is now driving down that left-hand side to the midway point, in behind Sima, but he gets onto it. Short to Cifuentes. The ball out to McCausland on the near side. Tavernier on the overlap if he wants him. Instead he plays it into Cifuentes, takes a touch and rifles it with the left foot, harmlessly wide of the left-hand post, and it stays Hearts 0, Rangers 1 at Tynecastle Park.
Good dominance for Rangers, just recycling the ball left to right. McCausland again, cutting inside. He's played a great pass into Cifuentes. He's took a great touch, but very speculative. He's trying a volley for 25 yards on his left foot. He's not renowned for scoring goals, and that goes about 25 yards wide of the post.
There's McCausland almost getting onto it, but it's cut out, and Hearts have it with Kai Rolls, steps away from Cifuentes in the centre circle and finds Shankland, clips it forward, an intelligent ball. Grant takes it down right-footed with the outside of the boot, goes straight to Butland. It's an applause, a ripple of applause from the Hearts fans for the effort from George Grant. He was trying his best. It was though an unorthodox kind of effort. Would have been a spectacular goal had he been able to lift it over Butland and find the net.
It would have been a great finish, but I must say, Lorne Shankland, he comes short, links the play, turns. What a pass it is from him. And George Grant's seen Butland off his line. He's just unlucky. He's just unlucky not to get enough purchase on the ball, because he was in between 6-yard box and penalty spot. It was on, but he just couldn't get that contact on the ball. He's unlucky, George Grant.
Listen, you know more than most, Lee. It was you guys that signed him, Lawrence Shankland, in the no-brainer signing category when he became available after his short spell in Belgium. But at the lower level, he was always a proven goal scorer. He is now at the top level, obviously, as well. But there's so much more to his game that's improved since he's come here.
Yeah, we signed him at Dundee United, first of all, and he was magnificent. And I think he had to get that belief in his own ability to play with a big club. He done great at Dundee United, and over to Belgium. We signed him here for Belgium, from Belgium, and he's been sensational for Hearts. He's a top player with a top mentality, and I know I keep banging a drum on him. I love the guy. I think he's a top striker.
He scored 40 in 74 for Dundee United, which is what attracted the attention of the Belgians. Beerschot, I believe there will be 4 minutes added on. In fact, yep, there it is, confirmed. And Rangers, after a little attacking play on the left-hand side, eventually came into the box. Looked like it was going to be harmless enough, but they've actually managed to get a corner out of it on this near side, to be taken by Tavernier. Outswinger, Gorgie Rodend, with his arms in the air, as he looks to find a teammate in first half stoppage time. And it comes, headed clear by Shankland, only as far as Cantwell. Volleys it towards the left-hand side of the box, looking for McCausland, headed away by Atkinson. Lifted high into the box there by Yilmaz, comes all the way through to Clark though. Shankland wanted it played early. He has played it early, Clark. Lundstrom's underneath it though, and he nods it out to Yilmaz on the left-hand side. He does such a good job in this Rangers team, John Lundstrom. A lot of what he does is unsung, obviously, as McCausland comes down the left and finds Seema. Seema's level with the Hearts penalty spot, now level with the 6. He goes down. Slight challenge from Atkinson was a good one, and that's going to be another Rangers corner. So importantly that Hearts don't concede again before the break.
Yeah, they just need it at half-time. But they've defended set plays pretty well, which they haven't for the last maybe year, and I'll take my share of blame in that. Maybe a year and a half. Set plays have always been a weak point, so they just need to get in at half-time. But touching on Lundstrom, you just mentioned there, fantastic player for me. Pace, power, can handle the ball, pass with both feet, powerful. And he chips in with a goal now and again.
In comes the corner. Goldson was there, flicked away by Kent. McCausland's effort, blocked by Cochrane. Hearts just trying to get through to the break, one behind. It is Cantwell with the ball, lofted into the box. Balogun wins the header, Danilo's in, saved by the feet of Clark. Gets a second chance, up into the air it goes with a deflection, and Zander Clark eventually holds on to it, and it stays Hearts 0, Rangers 1. So very nearly 2. Should it have been 2?
Absolutely. I'd need to see the first phase again, but it's a long ball in. Balogun wins his header. Danilo's standing second phase. You're expecting him just to tap it in for about 6 yards out first time, but he takes a touch. He takes a touch, then opens up his body to place it, and he's put it right at Zander's feet. It's a great save for Zander, but Danilo's got to score that for me.
Remains 1-0. How important will that be come full time tonight here in Edinburgh? It's going to be a Rangers throw-in in their defensive third. We've got just over a minute of the stoppages left. The other games well into their half-time interval. In fact, they'll be getting underway again across the board. Celtic 2, Hibs 0, goalless Aberdeen, Kilmarnock and St Johnstone, St Mirren. They are back underway in those games as Hearts pick up a free kick now. With a minute left of the stoppage time, it's a foul by Cantwell, and Willie Collins giving Hearts a free kick, which is probably about 8 yards away from the main stand side touchline, and it's almost level with the edge of the D of the Rangers box. This is a big chance for Hearts, and you consider the big men that can get involved in this.
Yeah, it's all about delivery here. George Grant usually gets it spot on. Cochrane a little bit sporadic at times, but it's a good chance.
It is Cochrane with it, and it's way too close to Jack Butland. Just what Lee McCullough was saying there. It's held on to cleanly by the Rangers keeper, who bowls it out to Seema on this right-hand side. He's got Tavernier galloping ahead of him down the right touchline. Instead, he turns it infield to Cifuentes. In the Hearts half now. And now Tavernier, who goes back into his own half. It looks as though it will be 1-0 at the break. And it's John Lundstrom in the centre circle. 1-0 down is actually a bit of a result for Hearts, because Danilo really should have doubled the lead as Willie Collins sounds the half-time whistle at Tynecastle. And it's the same old story for Hearts against Rangers at the moment. They haven't beaten them since Daniel Stendhal was in charge just before the pandemic, when they won those 2 matches in the league and Scottish Cup. Just 2 wins in 25 against the blue and white part of Glasgow. And they're behind again. Abdallah Seema scoring his 12th goal of the season. It was a great ball through by Tavernier. The defence was completely and utterly questionable though, as it came through to Seema, and just inside the box he rolled it through the legs of Clark, calmly stroking it low into the net to give Rangers the lead. That coming after Shankland saw his effort saved by Jack Butland. It came back out to Alex Cochrane, whose effort on the rebound bounced off James Tavernier. The Hearts number 19 really though should have given Hearts the lead, and it wasn't too long after that Seema did give Rangers the lead. And that is the story at the interval here in the capital, where it's Heart of Midlothian 0, Rangers 1.
The Scottish Premiership.
From BBC Radio Scotland.
You're listening to Sports Sound on BBC Radio Scotland, an 8 o'clock start at Tynecastle. Rangers with the advantage there thanks to Abdallah Sima with a goal on 34 minutes. Our online commentary option this evening comes from Celtic Park. Celtic at home to Hibs. Let's get an update there from our reporter Martin Dowden.
Would you believe, Kenny, I'm sitting looking at a VAR replay. There is a check going on early in this second half for a possible foul on Celtic defender Alistair Johnstone. Not clear from this view whether it is one or not, but it is Celtic 2, Hibernian 0. A few minutes into this second half, it is 2 for Celtic. They have replaced Carter Vickers with Nat Phillips, and the referee, John Beaton, is coming over to the sidelines. We usually know what that means. It was Matt O'Reilly who had just danced into the box. He tried to toe poke the ball into the path of Alistair Johnstone. I've seen a replay. I have to say I haven't seen too much connection there, but the fact that John Beaton's going over, just run through what happened in that first half quickly. Got the early goal in for Kyogo, who's on the bench tonight. Managed to just get on the end of a set piece after Carter Vickers had nodded it out towards goal, or got a touch with his leg there. There's been further chances with and McGregor testing David Marshall. Eli Johan had one. I'm just seeing that replay again, Kenny, and the penalty has been given. It looks as though, he's taken out his right leg, his knee coming through Alistair Johnstone there, just around the 6-yard box. So a chance for a third for Celtic. Matt O'Reilly had got the second. Really good move, that one. Lewis Palmer down the left. He crossed it into the 6-yard box. Hibs static again as they were for the first, and Matt O'Reilly just stole in and nodded, glanced the ball away from the goalkeeper there. So it will be a penalty kick. I'll just try and ride this out. I think it's Louis Palmer again. Celtic, of course, have had a few problems this season with spot kicks. They've missed quite a number of them. Palmer, I think the most recent one to casually take that up. He comes now and he finds a target. As you can hear, he just dinks the ball away from David Marshall into the top corner. Celtic coasting. Celtic 3, Hibernian 0.
Thanks to Martin Dowden. Michael Stewart is in the studio with me this evening. Do you have a chance to have a close look at that, Michael?
Yeah, I mean the pictures weren't particularly brilliant, but and Martin's description was a wee bit unclear as well.
But Celtic are cruising there, aren't they?
Yeah, they are, and it was clumsy it was Lewis Stevenson that gave it away. Desperately tried to lunge back in to make the challenge, and it didn't look particularly great, but I don't think there was a lot of force in it. But he's coming from behind. He's caught Alistair Johnston's right leg, as Martin did say, correctly.
Yep.
And I think that the penalty was the right call, although it wasn't as if he's wiped him out. It was a clumsy foul that a penalty was the correct decision. And Celtic are cruising 3-0 up.
Yeah, it's a tough one for Hibs. We spoke before the game, Tom, about Nick Montgomery. What have you made of the progression under him at Hibs? I know Michael's got some thoughts on that as well.
They've won 3 in a row, which is good. Beat Killie, Dundee, and Aberdeen. That's progress. But tonight, this is a big step backwards for them. Their last 3 games, they had against Celtic. They had a 0-0. At the end of last season, they beat them 4-2. Wasn't Celtic's top team, but they still beat them 4-2. And before that, they lost 3-1. But Johan was sent off early in the game, and Celtic scored twice late on to win it 3-1. So those 3 games, very, very competitive. Tonight, not really at the races.
What do you see from Hibs under the new manager, say, compared to the previous Lee Johnson?
An identity, a style. You can tell that they're coached. It's quite clear for anybody that knows anything about football that they've got an idea of what they're trying to do. Now, granted, obviously this is second game in Glasgow where it looks like they're going to be on the end of a pretty poor scoreline, but it's 6 undefeated coming into this game, 3 draws and then 3 wins in the league. They are stretched. When you look at the squad, they're stretched. Young Whittaker was playing right back at the weekend there, and they're not exactly blessed with a massive squad at this moment, even though Lee Johnson acquired so many players. If they can get through, and I said this to you, you asked me, who's going to finish ahead, Hearts or Hibs, and I thought to myself at the time, if Hibs are able to get through to January and recruit in some key areas, then they've got they've got a chance. And I still stand by that, because I think Nick Montgomery's he knows what he's trying to do, and if he can bring in a couple of players in January, then Hibs will be, I would think that they're going to be in there challenging for Europe.
I mean, I don't know if it's by design or default, but I like the fact that there are some young players coming into the squad on match day. I think that's to his Montgomery's credit. I don't know if he feels he has to do it because he's got no other option, or this is the way he wants to do it. But I like the fact that young Hibs players are being given a shot.
He also gave Tavares an opportunity.
Yeah.
Michael himself saw him at St Mirren Park a few weeks ago. He looks like a decent player, but he wasn't getting a chance under the previous manager.
Well, I think that then poses the question of what on earth was going on.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, seriously, he not only... It wasn't as if he came in and didn't do particularly well and then drifted away. I can't ever actually remember him getting an opportunity.
No.
And, this is a club where they brought him in. He's not had an opportunity. Surely, as a club, you've got to be saying to the manager, what's going on? Why is he not getting an opportunity? Because he has come in and he's responded well to the new manager coming in the door, and he looks like an asset. He looks like somebody that can do something for the team. And it's there's a couple of weeks ago there was obviously a lot of chat about billionaires getting involved at Hibs. It's gone a little bit quiet, but if there is some investment or ability to be able to recruit and bring some players in, not on the billionaire level, but even just on a Scottish Premiership challenging for Europe level, then Hibs, I think with Nick Montgomery are in not a bad place, but they just don't have great depth to their squad at the moment.
Struggling tonight, of course, 3-0 down at
4 now.
Celtic. Actually, Martin down, it's now 4.
Celtic 4, Hibernian 0, and it was all about the striker used his strength, just bustled into the box, knocked a defender out the way, and he just slid an excellent finish past David Marshall. Celtic 4, Hibernian 0.
Yeah, absolutely cruising there. So looking at the live Premiership table, Celtic top 42 points, Rangers 34, Hearts 23, St Mirren 23. We'll get an update in their game in just a minute. Hibs 21 points in 5th spot. Killie make up the top 6 with 18. Dundee on 18, County on 17. Aberdeen and Motherwell both on 14. A real sore one for Motherwell last night away at Ross County. St Johnstone on 12. Livingston bottom on 10 points. Let's then get an update on Aberdeen. We spoke before the game with Willie Miller. We all felt it was an important one for Barry Robson, but not much seems to be happening there tonight, Willie.
No, Kenny, it's a rather frustrating evening for the fans that have turned up. 13,500 or thereabouts that have braved the weather. Very cold here, but not much excitement on the field of play. It's been a real struggle for Aberdeen. No chances created in the second half. A couple in the first half. One for Kilmarnock as well. They've had the majority of possession, there's no doubt about that, but they've done very little with it. It's a very slow build-up from the back. 3 centre-backs being prepared to pass it amongst themselves, really going nowhere. So I think the fans need a little bit of excitement. Clarkson is one that can create, there's no doubt about that, but he's been quiet tonight. McGrath as well needs to do more. And Aberdeen really have got to find that touch of putting the ball in the back of the net, otherwise the fans are going to get restless.
Yeah, the concern here, Michael, is that Barry Robson has spoken continuously about the need to get back at home. He said he's never seen anything like it, the amount of away fixtures they've had recently. This is a game he's got to deliver in tonight, and it sounds dreadful so far.
It doesn't sound particularly positive from Willie there at all, but you're right. When I heard the sort of chat about all the away games, my initial thought was, well, there must be a load of home games coming up, and it is. In the build up to Christmas here, they have got a lot of home games. First one, is here tonight against Kilmarnock. It doesn't sound like it's particularly great to begin with, but putting all that to one side, even if Aberdeen are by hook or by crook able to get a victory, it just allows them to build into the next few weeks, feeling as if, right, okay, back at Pittodrie, start to get some points back on the board and moving up the table. Whereas if this just peters out and nothing really happens, you start to think to yourself that there's a fair chunk of the season that's passed, and are Aberdeen ever going to be getting themselves going and getting up and challenging for Europe?
You look at the team they have out tonight.
Yep.
McGrath, Clarkson, Shinnie, Hayes, Majowski, Duke. I mean, tons of attacking players, good players, succeeded at this level before, and yet that game looks like a shocker. On a long run of kind of domestic shockers, really. I said before that this is a game they had to win. As ridiculous as it sounds, here we are sitting in the first week of December. But, given the situation they're in, they've only won 3 league games so far this season. A home game against a team that doesn't like travelling away from home, it's a must-win for Aberdeen, and they don't look like they're creating a whole lot out there, despite the lineup of players that they have, which is good, Michael.
I said it right at the start. When you look at the Aberdeen side, that is a good team. When I watch Aberdeen, my concern is that I don't see any great discernible idea of what it is they're trying to do. Mm-hmm. There's good players there that seem to just be playing off the cuff to a great extent. Now, you want to give those guys at the top end of the park the freedom to go and express themselves, but you've got to have some sort of pattern of play to build the game, to get into that final third, to allow those players to be open and expansive. If you don't have any real discernible plan, you've got 11 individuals that it's very difficult for them all to be on the same wavelength at the same time. And that's where the cohesion and the tactical nous of a manager, of knitting it together, makes a huge difference. I think they've got a good team. I think they're underperforming at the moment.
Fair comment, Willie?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, they've got a strong squad. 8 changes at the weekend as well. So Barry's being supported quite substantially by the board of directors. But the domestic performance have not been good enough. And tonight is just lacklustre. It's just the tempo of it. I think when you're at home, it's a game that I think we're all agreed it's one that Aberdeen must win, just to take that pressure off. Because I know what like it is up here at Pittodrie when the fans start turning on you. They haven't turned yet. They've obviously got a cup final to look forward to as well. But once that's out the road, then the league performances have got to change. Even just giving them something in terms of a bit of grit, a bit of determination, that identity. They have got to play it through the midfield. They haven't done that enough this season. A lot of long balls, particularly down at Tynecastle, where it was just an awful game of football from the visitors that afternoon. If you've got good players in midfield, get the ball down, pass it through it, creative players in there as well. And they've got players that could up top too. They've got a variety up there. I can't see Barry waiting too much longer before he starts making some changes here, just to stimulate something, just to try to get the fans behind the team, because it's so down, it's so dull that surely they need something, and they might just get it now. It's a chance. It's a strike's off the line. So another one for Johnny Hayes, but it's blocked. McGrath has a shot. There's a shout for a penalty. The referee waves on. Sure, it'll be checked. It was blasted at one of the Kilmarnock defenders. And another shot from outside the box from Gartenman, trying to emulate Angus MacDonald with a volley from outside the box here, but it went straight into Bill Dennis's arms. So things are beginning to live up, and that's good news for me.
Yeah, certainly we can hear the crowd getting involved there. We'll keep an eye on any potential check there. So poor fare so far at Pittodrie. A similar story for you in Perth, Kerridge, Edson?
It is a similar story in terms of the scoreline. St Johnstone 0, St Mirren 0, and in terms of the match and the general standard of football and the Tom English theory that the standard of the top flight's taken a big dip this season is being vigorously vindicated by the first 56-57 minutes here at McDiarmid Park. Both these teams can play, they just haven't really tonight. That said, Stephen Robinson has been jumping up and down in the away technical area because he's watched a couple of his players miss glaring chances in the first half. Lewis Jameson should really have scored, but some excellent defensive work by the Saints, got the ball over the bar. And then just after half time, Greg Kelty was in the 6-yard box. If he heads at either side of the goalkeeper, he has to score. Of course, he headed it straight into Dimitar Mitov's grateful arms. We have just over an hour left to play. The home fans are getting a wee bit restless here because St Mirren have had the best of it so far, but it hasn't been great at all so far. 0-0.
Right, let's then get back to our commentary match this evening at Tynecastle. Hearts against Rangers with Lee McCulloch and Liam McLeod.
Yeah, we'll keep you up to date with what's going on across the board as those second halves rage on there. about to start here, and Hearts are making a double change at the start of the second half as Rangers prepare to kick off. Brian McLaughlin.
Yeah, 2 changes being made by Stephen Naismith. George Grant and Nat Atkinson are off. The players coming on, 2 attack-minded players, Yutara Oda and Kenneth Vargas.
Rangers get the second half underway, shooting towards their own fans in the Roseburn. They're occupying the far right corner of it. As Rangers with Lundstrom, just that one change for them in the first half. As Yilmaz shoots for goal, it's a scuffed effort blocked by Kent, and it pops out to this near side where a little wag of the finger from Oda as Yilmaz claims he was fouled there. It's going to be a throw-in though to Hearts down in this near side. Yilmaz now having a go at the assistant, and there's a Hearts throw-in. So it all breaks down. Actually, it's bounced off Nieuwenhof down in the near side. Lee McCulloch talk us through that double change for Hearts. Oda clearly will slot on to the right-hand side where Atkinson had been playing. Tall order for Atkinson, nearly 3 months out. I suppose he's going to be a little bit cold coming into this one. And Vargas coming on as well.
Yeah, I think it's stating the obvious, little injection of pace, which I think Hearts sorely miss. I was just looking, I don't know if they've changed their back 4. Just give me a chance. I thought at the start they changed their back 4 and went 4-3-3 with Vargas on the left, Oda on the right, Shanks up front himself, but let's see how the game unfolds. I need to wait and see it now. Kingsley at right back.
Yeah, Kingsley right back with Cochrane at left, and then they've got Kent and Rolls in the middle. So yeah, it looks as though that's going to be a more orthodox defensive line for Hearts, but they've given it away. Sima, heavy touch, allows Kent to make the challenge. Lundstrom knocks it forward. Then it's Kingsley. Lundstrom's been caught by Frankie Kent. Free kick Rangers, midway inside Hearts territory, just slightly left of centre.
Lundstrom's went down there as if that's a really, really bad one. I don't know if he's been caught or he's just trying to play for the foul. He seems to be up okay now. Maybe just trying to buy the foul there. Kent went in quite strongly, but I don't think he's made much contact. Lundstrom's up and about.
Clark in goal for Hearts. Kingsley, Kent, Rolls and Cochrane, Oda, Nieuwenhof, Beningame, Tagawa and Vargas. Rangers, Butland in goal. Tavernier, Goldson, Balogun, Yilmaz, Lundstrom, Cifuentes, Cantwell, McCausland and Sima with Danilo. Rangers free kick. After that foul on Lundstrom. Hearts fans want them to get on with it. Yilmaz takes it with the left foot, clips it in. Goldson gets a touch but heads it back outside the box. Cifuentes is onto it on the far side, beats Cochrane to it and rolls it back into his own half for Tavernier. Tavernier takes a touch, rifles it out to this left-hand side to Sima, good switch. Now McCausland on the overlap. Sima now goes in the overlap, gets it back from McCausland. Sima tries to bend it towards the back post, but it goes well past the far side of the goal, and it will stay 1-0 to Rangers on 48. And clearly it's a positive start to the second half by the visitors, who'll be hoping, I would have thought, to put this game to bed as quickly as possible.
Yeah, they're starting to get a little bit of dominance, even as early on in the second half.
It's a lovely touch by Oda on the near side. He's got to go down the line though. He cut infield instead. And Willie Collins blown for a foul by Oda. I don't think there's too much in that. Perhaps that's got something to do with what went on a couple of minutes ago between those two players, Oda and Yilmaz. As Lundstrom picks up and goes long. Sima collects well. Turning away from Kingsley, moving into a central position. Rolls it to the edge of the circle for Cifuentes. Out to Tavernier. Tavernier stepping in field away from Vargas. Then Cifuentes. Out to the right-hand side for McCausland. Forced back onto the halfway line facing his own goal. He slips it here to Balogun. Left of the centre circle, and now it's with Lundstrom. Lundstrom picks up wide in the left, rolls it in field to Cifuentes, just on the edge of the centre circle. Finds Cantwell, shrugs off the challenge, looking to turn away from his man. Again, he's facing his own goal. Under pressure from two Hearts players, Nieuwenhof and Beningame. Goes back to Balogun, he switches it to the right of the circle for Goldson, to the right-hand side for Tavernier. Long ball for Sima, was he offside? The flag stays down for now as Rangers play on. Sima and Cantwell, but it breaks down between the two of them and Hearts are able to clear. Up towards Vargas, is fouled by Tavernier, and Hearts have a free kick, level with the edge of the centre circle inside their own half, right in front of the home dugout. 1-0 Rangers.
4-4-2 Hearts, that's a formation there, and I thought it was 4-3-3, but you've got Tagawa and Shanklin up front as a 2, and then you've got Oda and Vargas from wide areas, so they're trying to get a little bit more pressure on Rangers' defence, pressing a little bit higher. They're going out all energy, trying to force errors. Rangers have done okay so far, trying to play through it, or just lifting it in to Cantwell or Danilo. And here they're on the break.
Yeah, Cantwell, after Vargas gave it away, Vargas fouls Cantwell, free kick. Rangers level with the edge of the D of the Hearts box this time. And this is in a really attacking position, and it's Vargas, the half-time sub, who gives it away. You just feel a second Rangers goal would finish this game, as the first yellow card of the match is shown to Kenneth Vargas. And a free kick for Rangers, the Costa Rican, going into the book. One of these possible project signings Hearts hoping to make some money off of in the future, assuming he makes an impact. Vargas, with the impact he's made here, is to put his team under pressure again with that foul. It was good play by Cantwell. It's Yilmaz and Tavernier are over it. Tavernier with the right foot, bends it in towards the back post. It's too close to Clark, he's given it away, he dropped it! Blocked Danilo's effort over the back corner, but still in play. Kingsley preventing the corner on the near side. And it's out for a Rangers throw-in, but Danilo, for the second time this evening, has got to score. And Zander Clark is breathing a massive sigh of relief. Now, there's a couple of them from Clark tonight, questionable at the goal, and that one he really should have conceded a second one. Is it the pressure of Craig Gordon being on the bench? Whatever it is, it's a howler from Clark, and he's very fortunate that Rangers haven't taken advantage of it.
Yeah, it came straight from a set play, wide free kick against. It wasn't particularly that good a ball in, and he's came to catch it, to maybe look for the counter-attack, and he just dropped it right at Danilo's feet. Danilo's got to score there for me. Again, I agree, it might be a little bit of pressure. This is the first game at Craig Gordon. His back and presence in the dressing room. Done the warm-up with him. Is he thinking too much about it? I don't know, because it's quite uncharacteristic of Zander Clark.
Cochrane with the cross, a good one, headed half away. Vargas tries the bicycle kick and gets fresh here. No touch in the ball, and Rangers are able to clear. That's a chance as well. It's going to be a free kick to Hearts, left of the centre circle. A foul by McCausland on Cochrane. The Hearts supporters are howling for a yellow card to be shown to the Ulsterman here. And I think it's just going to be a warning. McCausland gives Willie Collum a little pat in the back as well, as Hearts pick up the free kick just inside the Rangers half. 1-0 to the visitors here. But the Hearts fans being driven on by a real sense of grievance here at some of the decisions being made that they are not happy with.
Yeah, I didn't see much in that one with McCausland there. And I don't think he's got Cochrane any contact at all. Cochrane's went down holding his head.
Little ball through, chance here. Tagawa's in, but he's blocked off by Goldson at the last second, and Butland holds on. There's a goal in this for Hearts.
Starting to look a threat, Liam, aren't they? They're starting to, the two strikers up front now. Lawrence Shanklin always likes to play with a strike partner near him as well. The game's just getting a little bit niggly between the players. A few tackles getting in, a few rolling about, trying to buy fouls. Good that Zander's got a good touch there. It's his first touch since the mistake.
His pass isn't great though. He's dumped it straight into the centre circle. Goldson, unchallenged, controls with the chest, strides forward, rolls it to his right for Cantwell, who was down, and another Rangers free kick won by Todd Cantwell. And this is a little bit further back than the last one, but again it's slightly right to centre, and it will be a chance for Rangers to put the Hearts defence under pressure again as we approach 54. Rangers still leading 1-0, Celtic leading 4-0 against Hibs at Celtic Park. Goalless Aberdeen, Kilmarnock and St Johnstone, St Mirren in the other Premiership matches being played tonight. Rangers free kick. Tavernier over it, right-footed, bends it in. Goldson goes for it, comes off Kent, and then Goldson and over and wide. And that's a goal kick to Hearts, who trail Rangers 1-0. I've just said it's 4-0 Celtic. I believe that's changed. Martin Dowden.
Well, you know the drills. The Hibs have scored, but we are now undergoing yet another VAR check, a possible offside. It was Eli Yuan get into the box. He managed to get it across for substitute Kristen Doidge, who knocked it past Joe Hart, and he thought that was a clean sheet gone. We are having a long check here. Hibs have been largely ineffective ineffectual. They will point to have hitting the post and having a couple of decent efforts. But over at Peace, Celtic more than deserved this result. I'll check back and tell you what happens soon. It looks like a long delay.
OK, then we'll keep an ear on Martin as Lundstrom knocks it out to Sima for Rangers. It's the Rangers goal scorer in possession down the left-hand side. Knocks it in field to Yilmaz. Hearts clear to Nieuwenhof and out for a throw-in. Martin can bring us confirmation of that VAR check at Celtic Park.
Yes, the VAR officials haven't even brought John Beaton over to the side. The goal is given. Celtic 4, Aberdeen 1. Christian Doidge.
And Doidge has done a decent job of resurrecting his Hibs career this season. Out on loan at Kilmarnock last term. As Tavernier rolls it along the halfway line to the left here for Lundstrom. 55.5 on the clock. Hearts 0, Rangers 1. Cifuentes infield, low ball to Cantwell. Out on the right, McCausland's in a decent position, but Cantwell checks that, turns back in field and turns back out wide right, and does eventually slip it onto the feet of McCausland. Infield for Cifuentes, wide right for McCausland again, gets there before it goes behind, and then comes the cross, flicked half away. Lundstrom knocks it back into the box for Danilo, to Lundstrom, left-hand side, Yilmaz across the face and wide. Cross comes short from the Turk, and it goes behind for the goal kick on the reverse side of the goal, and it stays Hearts 0, Rangers 1 on 56.
Rangers just been dominant there, again recycling the ball. Cantwell, Lundstrom quite instrumental in that. The balls that Yilmaz has been played in, I think he's just got to put his foot through it and shoot, but I think he's caught between two minds whether to shoot or cross, and there's nothing came at the end of it. There was no dent at the back post for Rangers. Good move though.
Tagawa out to Vargas. I think that's just gone over the line. It has. It's going to be a throw into Rangers. Hearts were in a decent attacking position there. Their last win in this fixture was in the Scottish Cup quarter-finals. Daniel Stendel's team, February 2020. Ollie Bozanic got the only goal. They won the previous meeting a month before. Liam Boyce got the winner, the current Hearts coach. The manager, Stephen Naismith, scored that day against his old team as Sima crosses in. It's a poor one, though, over the crossbar onto the roof of the net. And it remains 1-0 to Rangers here. And those two wins in the last 25 meetings, the only ones Hearts have had over Rangers since an incredible 4-1 victory they had under Ian Cathro here against Mark Warburton's Rangers. Tavernier was in the Rangers side that day. Halliday and Mackay in the Hearts squad. These days were both Rangers starters in that game. Double from Jamie Walker. Novak and Cowie got the others. That goes out for a throw-in over on the far side for Hearts. Just bowled back by Cochrane to Rolls, who squares into Kent. Still plenty time in this for the Jam Tarts, though they are really looking to test Jack Butland more often than they have been as it comes through towards Oda from Tagawa. Yilmaz, little dancing feet as well, gets himself out of trouble and finds Balogun at close quarters. Balogun up towards halfway, striding forward, and he's away there from Nieuwenhof with lots of his jerseys. Well, in fact, he's ripped it, but here's Sima taking over. It's past the Cantwell's cut out. Sima gets it back, finds Cifuentes to the right of the D there from McCausland. Cochrane with the challenge. Tavernier looking to win it back, and Beningame sends it out for a Rangers throw-in on the far side, level with the Hearts 18. And Nieuwenhof being spoken to by Willie Collum, and to be fair, I mean, it's a professional foul, isn't it? He's got to, if it's the letter of the law, it's a yellow card for Nieuwenhof.
That's a ridiculous decision. He's nearly pulled the jersey right off him, and what I'm led to believe is a pull of the jersey, it can be a yellow card, obviously. But I think he's ripped a bit of his jersey off, blatant for everybody to see, and when Willie Collum's not engaging in it.
Balogun goes down, he gets booked, but it's the same offence. So, strange one as Yilmaz comes forward looking for Sima. Clark's going to get there, though. A little bit too much sit on the pass, and it's in the gloves of the Hearts keeper, and the Hearts fans are pleading with their team to get forward here. Here is Kingsley up to the halfway line, crossing it and into Rangers territory. Oda wins the throw-in off Yilmaz. He certainly looked quite effective out on this right-hand side of Taro Oda in the tail end of last season. His Hearts tried to rescue third place. They couldn't quite manage that, but they are sitting third just now, having usurped St Mirren in that position recently. A throw-in here for Stephen Kingsley to take, midway inside the Rangers half. Short to Shanklin, but he puts it straight back out for a throw-in. on the near side. And we haven't seen too much of Lawrence Shanklin in the last half an hour of open play since he had that opportunity, which was saved by Butland. The rebound fell to Cochrane. The scores were 0-0, and he played it straight off Tavernier when he really should have scored. Can they get Shanklin involved? He is, by a stretch, Hearts' top goal scorer. It is Nieuwenhof picking up on this near side, turning away from Seema, infield to Beningame, right of the circle, and then shifts it to the low ball with the instep, out to the left for Cochrane. Infield to Beningame. We're on the hour mark at Tynecastle. Rangers leading by 1-0. That goal scored by Abdallah Seema in the first half. Here is Shanklin, out to the left for Cochrane, down the line for Vargas, Jinks in field, shifting it back to Beningame, and then into the centre circle for Kent. Steps into the Rangers half, forward to Oda, first time to Nieuwenhof, clip ball, looking for Tagawa, headed away by Balogun. Hearts come again, but it's been given away by Kai Rolls, straight to Lundstrom. He'll just take the sting out of it, rolls it back to Tavernier and out to McCausland on the far side. Celtic 4, Hibernian 1 at Celtic Park. It's goalless though, Aberdeen, Kilmarnock and St Johnstone, St Mirren. And we'll get an update on that from Willie Miller, heading towards the final 15 of that one, perhaps less than that now, Willie.
Yeah, just a bit less than that, and you can hear in the background there's an awful lot of boos going around Pittodrie because it hasn't really improved in the second half. Big shout for a penalty there, the referee is ignoring it, it will be checked. I didn't think there was much in it. It was Jamie McGrath that seemed to get a little bit of contact in the box from behind. He went down. The referee is shaking his head, having nothing to do with it. They've made a couple of changes, which isn't surprising. James McGarry has come on, and Shaden Morris, the winger, has come on as well. I haven't seen him for a number of weeks, through injury, and off has gone Duke and McDonald. But it's not been great fair in the second half. It's been pretty much the same as the first half. Very few chances either side. So Aberdeen hoping that they can find something, a bit of magic before the final whistle.
Meanwhile, McCausland's been caught out wide on the right. I didn't quite see Willie Collum was getting a card out there. It is a free kick to Rangers. The yellow card has been flashed, I think, at Cochrane.
Yeah, it was Cochrane. It was great play from McCausland. He gets out wide, he cuts inside, goes to play a 1-2, and Cochrane just put his hands up to block him, match the runner. But I think he's put his hand up too high. He's caught him round about, side of the face. There's nothing in it, but he's made contact there, and that's how Wally Collins gave him the yellow card.
Free kick level with the 18, just a couple of yards from the main stand side touchline. Tavernier fires it in. Goldson heads it wide. He's claiming corner. He's getting one. He might be claiming for more than that. Or is he just in disbelief that he's not made it 2-0?
Yeah, it's bread and butter for him. What a ball in for Tavernier. Goldson gets a run, a little double movement on his man, loses his man, and he's got to score. He's just got to score. Get enough contact on it, it's a goal.
Get an update from Perth shortly. It's a Rangers corner though on this left-hand side. Played 63 here. Remember, this is a later kick-off than the other three. Yilmaz over it. Looking for an option in blue and white in the middle, and it comes from Yilmaz, leaping up Seema, breaks to the right-hand side, McCausland strikes, saved by the foot of Zander Clark, and out for a Rangers throw-in on the far side. Just taken quickly by Tavernier to Lundstrom, back to Tavernier, crosses in on the stretch towards his own goal as Rolls gets to it, finds Cochrane who clears. Only as far as John Lundstrom, battling in the midfield, one back by Shanklin who goes down, and Hearts have themselves a free kick midway inside their own half left of centre. Hearts 0, Rangers 1, McDermott Park, Kennedy Nidsan.
No goals here after 76 minutes, but 5 minutes ago St Mirren really should have yet again. Substitute Mika Mandron hit the post when it looked easier to turn it over the line after fellow sub Olusanya drove the ball across to him. Just before that, Charles Dunn, the defender, hit a wonderful shot from fully 30 yards, brilliantly tipped over by Mitov. St Mirren cannot believe the score is still St Johnstone 0, St Mirren 0. And at the moment, Chris Kane's got a great chance for Saints at the other end, the Perth Saints I should say, but just as a tenor of the match, he has sclaffed that one wide. Good chance there for Chris Kane, the substitute for St Johnstone. Still 0-0.
Heart substitution, Brian McLaughlin.
Yeah, third change of the evening made by Stephen Naismith, and off comes number 30 Keisuke Tagawa, replacing him Alan Forrest. Possibly another tweak to the system, Liam.
He's almost through for Danilo there as Hearts clear. Now it's Lundstrom, knocks it back here to Goldson. He slips it all the way back to Butland. To say, Lee, the direct nature of Hearts play early on seemed to be giving Rangers problems. They've not been able to get into that kind of flow since then.
No, they haven't. I think the change, the substitute that come on, Forrest, has went on the left, and Vargas with his pace has went up front.
Oda's given it away. It's played through towards Danilo, shutting the door in his face. It's Kai Rolls who wins it back and finds Alan Forrest, who's just on. Forrest then firing it out to Oda on this right-hand side. Up against Yilmaz. Rolls it infield to Shankland. Cifuentes behind him, rolls it back to Kingsley, and then in field to Shankland, back to Kent, who finds his keeper. And Clark plays it short to Kai Rolls. 66 minutes just about played. Rangers leading 1-0. Goal scored by Abdallah Sima on 34 minutes. One ball opened up the Hearts defence and Sima did the rest. First time ball Danilo, he's caught by Kent. Free kick Rangers just outside the centre circle. This place is a hot pot of frustration, Lee. The Hearts fans are irate every time Willie Collin blows his whistle, just about.
Yeah, but Kent has come out there. Danilo's went short, he's played the ball wide. Kent's come out, tackled him late, made contact with his ankle. Arguably, it's a yellow card. That's what I'm seeing anyway, and I think that the home fans usually have a little bit moan up now and again, but no, there's nothing in that for me.
Rangers are unbeaten in 37 Premiership games when scoring the first goal. And dates back to a 2-1 defeat against Celtic in April 22. And they have the lead here, and it's Cifuentes. Back the way to McCausland, level with the edge of the D. Tavernier with the dummy, here's Lundstrom, Yilmaz to the far side, Lundstrom goes for goal, saved by Clark, Yilmaz in the rebound, fires it over the bar. He'd maybe three, certainly two, but possibly three waiting for a tap-in. He goes himself, the goal was gaping, but he can't even hit the target, and on 67, it stays Hearts 0, Rangers 1, and Hearts are just delighted they're still in a match here.
I beggars belief for me. That's Lundstrom does brilliant there, left-footed shot, great save for Zander. Yilmaz goes in the follow-through. There's nobody really putting that much pressure on him. He lets it sit up nicely for him. He's 6 yards out and he blazes it over the bar. Just from a Hearts point of view, if you're a Hearts player in the Hearts dugout, you're saying we will get a chance, but as long as it's still at 1-0, it's obviously going to suit us. Rangers just keep missing chance after chance. But I believe Hearts will get a really good chance here. There's still a long way to go in the game.
Yeah, I don't think this has been a particularly brilliant performance by Rangers. Hearts looking to try and get themselves into a position where they can find an equaliser with 22 of the 90 to play. The full-time whistles will be going in the other matches in the not too distant future. Goalless of Pataudry, McDermott, 4-1 Celtic in Glasgow against Hibs. Here is Oda wide in the right, up against Yilmaz. Infield, Oda tries to have another bite at Yilmaz. Yilmaz brings him down. They've been colliding throughout the second half, and Yilmaz with a wry smile as Willie Collin gets the yellow card out of his pocket and books the Rangers left back. In for the injured Borna Barisic tonight, and Hartsley have a free kick in a decent position just on the verge of the attacking third here, over on the right-hand side, maybe about 10 yards from this Wheatfield stand touchline.
Yeah, I feel the substitutes have gave Hearts a little bit more impetus in the match, and I must say Oda's made a bit of difference with his pace, running at Yilmaz. He's been a terrific signing, took him a little bit of time.
There's Cochrane with the free kick. It's too close to Butland, who punches away with both fists. He wiped out Leon Balogun at the same time. Balogun gets straight back up though. Here's Alan Forrest down the left-hand side, taking on Cifuentes. Low ball back. Vargas first time. What a save by Butland! Jack Butland throws himself to his left and makes an outstanding save to deny Kenneth Vargas the equaliser. And here come Rangers on the counter with Cantwell. Danilo ahead of him, Seema getting there, McCausland too. Rolls it to McCausland, right hand side of the box, his ball across, is sliced over his own bar by Beningame. It goes from one end to the other. It stays Hearts 0, Rangers 1. Kenneth Vargas could not really have caught that shot more sweetly than he did, and he's been denied by an outstanding save from one of Rangers' men of the season in Jack Butland. Stays Hearts 0, Rangers 1. Let's get to Brian before we get Lee's take on that.
Yeah, there's going to be a double change made by Philip Clement and Rangers just before this corner. Danilo is coming off, as is Ridvan Yilmaz. The players coming on, Dujon Sterling and Kemar Roof.
Well, Rangers have a corner. They're going to be making it and taking it in a moment. Danilo trotting off on the far side. Roof will replace him. The Hearts fans are not happy with the length of time this is taking. Lee, what a save from Butland.
Yeah, Vargas has caught that sweep. We're talking there, Oda and Vargas come on. They've made a little bit more of attacking impact to the Hearts team. Vargas has caught it sweet, but Butland, what a save. That's why, arguably, he's been one of Rangers' best players this season so far, and tremendous save from him. But having said that, Rangers then hitting the counter-attack, catch Hearts sleeping, and they gain a corner from it. So, and a couple of changes there as well, which I think due to injury, that is. Maybe Yilmaz because he's been booked, but Danilo hobbling off, he must have got a sore one, not got a clue what it is.
If you're wondering why he's not scored, Rangers onto their third potential corner taker here, which is annoying the Hearts fans some more. It's Dujon Sterling who takes, and it comes, headed away well though by Kent, only as far as Cantwell. 71.5 on the clock with Rangers leading 1-0. Down goes Vargas, foul by Lundstrom, free kick Hearts. It's all boiling over a little bit here at Tynecastle Park. In the final quarter of the game, Rangers still leading by that Seema goal. Yes, Butland, Tavernier and Seema have probably been Rangers' three best players this season. Goal-scoring exploits of the two outfield players there, and Butland looking to keep another clean sheet. It would be, if he manages one today, his 14th of the campaign, which is pretty good going. It's Kingsley, the left-footed free kick into the Rangers box, comes off Roll's head and goes behind harmlessly for the goal kick to the visitors. But he had big gloves to fill, Lee, and your old teammate Alan McGregor, and he has filled them.
He's done brilliant, especially for his first season. He's obviously had a good career so far, but I completely agree with what you say. It's Alan McGregor, complete fans' favourite, club legend, and Butland has been sensational. He's took it in his stride. He looks confident. He's a presence in there. He's good at shot stopping, coming for crosses. He's made a real difference.
They've only conceded 2 goals away from home in the league this season, Rangers. Brad Lyons winner for Kilmarnock on the opening day, and Bojan Mijovski's goal at Pittodrie a week and a half ago. Clean sheets everywhere else on their travels in the Premiership. Looking for another one tonight. 17 of the 90 to play. 4-1 Celtic against Hibs. 0-0 Aberdeen, Kilmarnock and St Johnstone, St Mirren. The full-time whistles will be going in those matches very soon indeed. Long throw into the Rangers box for Hearts. Cochrane with it, headed away by Goldson. Then Cantwell gets onto it. Roof with the touch. Cantwell driving it. Beningame, he's the most withdrawn of the Hearts players. Turns away facing his own goal. Allows someone in maroon and white to get back. It breaks to Kemar Roof, who fires it for him. Not sure he meant that. The flag was up. McCausland offside. Free kick Hearts. And there's been a very late goal at Pittodrie, Willie Miller.
There has, Liam, and the news is it goes to the visitors. I think it's he's been absolutely swamped by his teammates. I think it's Dave Watson that gets the final touch. The cross comes in from the left-hand side. It's not a touch, he gets onto the right foot and he drills it into the far corner. I'll confirm the goal scorer, but I think it's the midfielder, Dave Watson, that gets it, and that is just silence, Pittodrie, as you can imagine. It looks as though we've got 5 minutes, probably 3 to go of time added on in this game, and Kilmarnock take the lead.
David Watson with it. Well, signed that new contract recently, and what an important goal that is for Kilmarnock. And what will that do for Barry Robson? There's going to be almighty pressure on the Aberdeen manager's shoulders. He might not sound like a man under pressure, but that defeat at Pittodrie, as it looks as though it will be a defeat at Pittodrie against Kilmarnock, is going to put him under all kinds of duress now. We saw what Hibs did with Jack Ross when he'd led them to the League Cup final a couple of seasons ago. Does Barry Robson survive that? Hearts up next on Saturday. Hearts with just over 15 minutes to try and peg Rangers back here. Kai Rolls has it wide in the left. Cantwell putting him under pressure. Forward to Forrest, out wide for Cochrane. Infield to Beningame, to Rolls, and then Benny Beningame again. He hasn't really been able to dominate the midfield tonight at any point, and we know he can. Rolls has it on the left-hand side. And walking pace across halfway, and just kind of forced back by Cifuentes into his own territory. Finds Nieuwenhof, then Rolls again. It's just not happening for Hearts right now. They've been one of the lowest scorers in the Premiership this season. This guy hasn't though. Shankland driving towards the edge of the area. Short to Beningame. Stabs it to the right for Kingsley. Out to Oda. Level with the 18. Hearts looking for a leveller. Oda's cross cut out by Sterling and behind for a Hearts corner. As we approach 76 minutes. Looking for an equaliser. And they have looked a threat in the second half. The changes that Stephen Naismith's made have made a difference.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's that little bit of pace for Oda and Vargas. Wider area, a little change of formation. Went for a 3-5-2 to a 4-4-2. Just to put a little bit more pressure higher up the pitch. Obviously sacrificing a centre half. They've not had any real clear-cut chances second half, apart from Vargas making Butland make a great save. But this is where they could threaten here. Yeah, the corner.
Cochrane's corner, it's too deep though for everyone in maroon and white, and it goes behind on the reverse side for a goal kick. It needs to be better than that from the hosts.
Yes, set plays again, so important. You get good delivery, and you see Rangers' delivery, but it's Yilmaz earlier. Tavernier usually spot on with the delivery. Cochrane's delivery's been really poor tonight.
Here's Nieuwenhof for Hearts. Infield gives it straight to Lundstrom. Roof ahead of him, Cantwell to the right. Roof to the left, rolls it to Roof. Can he get a run of games now, Kemar Roof? Roof then turns it out to Sterling wide on the left-hand side, level with 18. Now he takes it forward towards the byline. Sterling gets there, low ball across, almost came to Roof, and but for Nieuwenhof it would have done. And he knocks it clear from the 6-yard line out for a throw into Rangers over on the far side. Roof was waiting for a tap-in late.
Yeah, Sterling, good change of pace there for a wider area. Knocked it past, I think it was Kingsley. Cut it back, Roof's waiting in the tap-in, but Kent coming back for a centre midfield area just to defend the goal, and does great for Hearts.
It's finished 4-1 Celtic, so is another game ticked off for the champions. As it stands, have moved 11 clear. But Rangers, right now, if they get to full time with this 1-0 scoreline, would have that back at 8. They do have that game in hand, which is incidentally at home to St Johnstone, though they will have another game in hand the weekend of the League Cup final. It was Hibernian they were due to face that weekend. That match has been rearranged as well. And in kind of similar position to where they were this time last year in the league table. They're maybe even just slightly better off if they were to win that game in hand. We're 7 behind Celtic, having played the same number of matches this time last year, so it depends how they get on in the matches they'll have in hand over Celtic, as Halligan picks up here's Lundstrom. He goes back to the edge of his own box. Little flurry for Hearts there, Lee, just in the last 5 minutes or so, but again unable to find that equalising goal, and we know Jack Butland's made 2 really important saves for Rangers tonight.
Apart from the saves that Butland's made, Hearts have huffed and puffed, but never really
and here's
cut Rangers open.
Yeah, and Rangers trying to cut Hearts open there. The ball towards Sima, blocked off. Now it's with Shankland. Shankland lofting it forward, looking for Vargas, putting the pressure on Balogun, who slips it to Connor Goldson. Goldson in right to the centre circle, through for Kemar Roof. He's onside here, he's driving forward. Seaman support, he finds Seaman! Brilliant save by Clark. Flag's gone up anyway. So the Clark save will be wiped from the records, but important for him personally after a couple of mistakes this evening. As we approach the final 10 of 90, Roof looking at that now that Seema was offside, would have been better served going it alone.
It's great play from Kemar Roof. It's a great touch, great ball in for Goldson into his feet. He's obviously in an offside area, but he takes it effortlessly and his back foot. He's running, you're right, he could have had the shot, but he's squared it to Seema, and yes, we know it was offside, but I was expecting the net to ripple there. But great save for Zander. I'm happy for him that he's got a little bit of confidence back, hopefully, from that save.
It is Rangers in possession with Lundstrom the final 10 minutes here. I think that's full time at Pittodrie. Aberdeen 0, Kilmarnock 1. A first Killie win at Pittodrie since 2018 as the long ball comes through to Seaman, shoots, oh, it's just wide. Well, how's he not scored that one? It's kind of bobbled and bounced towards goal and flashes past the left-hand post and stays Hearts 0, Rangers 1.
You must say, Seema's a threat. Goldson with a 70-yard diagonal. It's a great pass. Seema takes it brilliantly in his chest. Gets in behind Kingsley, who tried to match the run. And he just scuffs his shot wide of the post. But Seema really is a threat over the top.
Confirmation, Aberdeen 0, Kilmarnock 1. Killie's first away league win of the season. And just their third away league win since they were promoted a couple of seasons back in the league. And here's a chance for Hearts with Kai Rolls out to the left-hand side. There's a penalty at McDermott. We'll get news of that in a moment. It is Forrest. Forrest jinking in field. Rolls it to Oda. Takes a touch on the right, back onto the left. He's overcooked it. It's blocked. Let's go to Kennedy to McDermott. Kennedy at McDermott Park.
St Johnstone have a chance to win this late on. We're deep into stoppage time. It's a penalty. Chris Kane is about to take it. There's been a VAR check to make sure that the award is correct. One of the St Mirren players just basically took the legs away from one of the St Johnstone players in the box. So, late drama here. Substitute Chris Kane steps up, right-footed. This for the 3 points. It's saved. Can he stick the rebound away? He can! It's 3 points, you would think, for St Johnstone on the rebound. It's Chris Kane. Would you believe it? St Mirren have missed about 4 unbelievable chances, but now it's St Johnstone 1, St Mirren 0, and there won't be long left after this.
What a huge goal that is for St Johnstone, who lead St Mirren at McDermott. St Mirren cannot win a game away from home just now, and St Johnstone have just plunged Aberdeen into the relegation playoff place with that late Chris Kane goal on the rebound from the penalty. St Johnstone 1, St Mirren 0. Remember, Aberdeen 0, Kilmarnock 1 a full time at Pittodrie, and Celtic beating Hibs 4-1. Here Rangers holding on to their 1-0 lead. They look quite happy to just soak up what Hearts have got left for the next 7 minutes plus stoppages and get back along the M8 with 3 huge points at one of the most difficult venues to come to in this league.
Yeah, Rangers just sitting a little bit deeper, trying to hit Hearts on the counter-attack, probably through Seema's pace, McCausland's pace, but they're playing a dangerous game sitting deep.
Throwing into the Rangers boxes, not clear. Cantwell gets onto it now. Cantwell will drive forward. It's got Ross McCausland running to his right. Can he find him? Yes, he can. McCausland taking on Cochrane. Goes inside him, back outside him. It's McCausland. His effort blocked there by Cochrane, who recovered really well. Here come Rangers with Cantwell, stabbed away from him by Beningame. Hearts are still beating here in the capital. It is Shanklin wide in the left, rolls it back to Cochrane. Cochrane slides it infield to Kent. Kent then up into the Rangers half for Yutaro Oda. Out to Kingsley on this near side. Kingsley touching it back to Kent. And he's going to go back to his keeper. The Hearts fans want this ball going up the other end of the pitch. 84 played, Hearts 0, Rangers 1.
I think the back four of Hearts just overplaying a little bit, or you could point to the strikers not making the run, but you've got to put it in there and then tell the striker to go and make the run into the channel. The fans are getting a little bit frustrated. It's going to full back. It's going to full back, and then they're going back to the centre halfage and turn. Lets Rangers steal another 10 yards for the deep position that they're in. And Hearts, it's usually going back to Xander Clark. That sometimes they go direct and sometimes they overplay.
Hearts change, Brian.
Yes, 6 minutes left. Stephen Kingsley has been replaced. The player coming on, Barry Mackay, who the last time he featured was in a European game here against Salonika back in August.
Yeah, it was 2-1 defeat to Pauk. So a long spell out for the former Ranger. Barry Mackay, will he have the final say against his old club? It will be a Hearts free kick. This game's still alive, very much so. Nobody leaving early. And if there are, it'd be crazy to do so, having paid the entrance fee. Just 1-0 down. The Hearts supporters are right behind their team here. The first involvement for Mackay will be to take this free kick, which is just inside the Rangers half over on the main stand side. Long ball raked towards the right-hand side of the D. It's won by Kent. Sterling's there on the right-hand side of the box as Hearts attack. Sterling on the left-hand side for Rangers, nods it out, but the flag goes up on the near side, and that's going to be a Hearts corner. It just gone over the byline. Hearts corner. They trail 1-0. We're in the final 5 of the 90 here in the capital.
Yeah, a little bit more dominance again from Hearts. The crowd getting a lift actually with Barry Mackay coming on, and I think Barry will obviously be delighted to be back on the pitch again after that injury that he had. But Hearts are just not going away here. Rangers need to be resolute, set plays and direct balls.
This game's not done. Cochrane with the corner, and it comes, a Hearts head wins it, but it's straight at Butland who holds on. It was Frankie Kent, left angle of the 6-yard box. And Jack Butland holds on with both gloves. It remains 1-0 to the visitors. That 34th minute goal from Abdallah Sima is the difference right now. Again, Rangers must win, but Lundstrom's given it away. Vargas finds Shanklin. Back to Kenneth Vargas, whose shot's blocked by Cifuentes. And out for a Hearts throw-in level with the Rangers 6 on the near side. Or has it gone behind for the corner? Might well be a corner that's been given here.
Yeah, I think it's a corner. Rangers, victims of their own downfall there. Butland throws it out to the middle of the pitch into Lundstrom. Lundstrom's got 2 men on him. He goes to turn, gets dispossessed. Shanklin gets it, slips it to Vargas, and the shot was blocked out for a corner. Good pressure there for Hearts, but maybe Rangers just overplaying a little bit.
Rangers change this time, Brian.
Yeah, 3 minutes plus, I would suggest maybe 4 or 5 additional minutes to be played. Todd Cantwell is being replaced. The player coming on, the much maligned Sam Lammers, who I think it's fair to say is still to win over the Rangers support.
Yeah, Lammers for Cantwell. Lammers on now. His first job is to help defend this latest Hearts corner. And Alex Cochrane, the left-footed in-swinger here. In fact, he's taken it short to Mackay. Mackay onto the right, gets the cross in, the header is away, and then Shanklin's effort charged down by Sterling. There was a few appeals for a penalty there. Forrest clips it into the box, away by Balogun. And Cifuentes picks up the scraps, looking for McCausland, but it's going to go out for a Hearts throw-in on the near side. Willie Collum, well, it looked as though he was going to stop it for a possible VAR review, but it is game on, and it's a throw into Hearts on this near side. Showing some decent attacking threat in the closing stages here. We're into the final 2 of the 90.
I've never seen a Hearts team for years being so direct, even long throws into the box. I think Rangers have been vulnerable at long throws for the past maybe 6 to 12 months, and maybe that's why Hearts are deploying this tactic.
Cochrane with it, and it comes headed behind, corner, another corner. Hearts are keeping this pressure ramped right on this Rangers defence. Another chance for Cochrane as this one comes straight into the box. The second slipping away. Second leads third here. Another in-swinger, Cochrane into the box. It comes, a decent delivery, flicked away by Goldson. Forrest picks it up on the other side of the pitch, main stand side. Infield to Shanklin as Hearts attack Gorgie Road in the second half. The challenge from Sterling goes out for a throw-in taken quickly by Forrest. Here's Shanklin. And rather, he was in the middle. His clip ball is blocked. It breaks back to Lawrence Shanklin though. Shanklin then to the edge of the area. The diving header away by Balogun. Cochrane out to Mackay. towards Nieuwenhof, does really well, and Forrest, no, fouls as Willie call him. Free kick Rangers. Final minute of the 90, and it's 1-0 to the visitors as well.
Forrest and Tavernier have went for the ball together. I didn't see too much in that, to be honest with you, but obviously Wally Collum did. That's all I'm going to say.
Well, there's going to be, I would imagine, some disappointment from the Hearts fans when they hear what the stoppage time's going to be. And I understand there will be 3 minutes added at the end. They might have hoped for a couple on top of that. It is just going to be 3. Certainly been plenty subs. There were a couple made before the start of the second half, and one by Rangers in the first when Lawrence was replaced by Cifuentes as Rangers come down the left. There you go, 3 minutes confirmed as Sterling's brought down by Forrest. Will be yellow carded. It's left-hand side of the Hearts box. He was goal side. He was driving in Zander Clark's goal frame. And it will be a free kick to Rangers, and they'll eat away a few seconds. And now it's time for some of the Hearts fans to head out of the stadium. They don't see their team finding an equaliser clearly, and many annoyed that only 3 minutes have been added. Frankie McAvoy's out there talking to the fourth official, Ewan Anderson over there. I don't think they're impressed with the amount of time that was bolted on to the end of this. It's going to be a Rangers free kick, and they're taking their time over it. And Willie Collum is still speaking to Alan Forrest, who took the yellow card there. Tavernier will take. No, they've got an opportunity here. Tavernier, who rifles it high over the crossbar. Goal kick Hearts with 2 of the 3 minutes still to play. They've not got a good relationship with Willie Collum historically, have the Hearts supporters. Seem to remember a Scottish Cup tie here against Celtic when he sent off Margaro Gomes very early on in the piece. It was a long time before he was sent back here by the SFA. Nieuwenhof for Hearts, forward, cut out by Goldson, rifles it high down that right-hand side. Underneath it is Cochrane, who heads back to his keeper. Hearts have got 90 seconds left to try and salvage a point out of this. Can they find an equaliser? Long ball, headed away by Balogun, rifled forward by McCausland. Kent goes back to his keeper. Clark then will turn it out to the left-hand side for Rolls. Still over a minute left for Hearts. Kai Rolls, long ball, Shanklin flicks on. Nieuwenhof gives chase, away by Tavernier. Cushion header by Cochrane. Finds Barry Mackay on the far side. Back into his own half for Kai Rolls. Now with Kent in the centre circle. Forrest on the near side, he's got away from Sima. Driving down the right-hand side as a look up at the box. Low ball ends, cut out. They're shouting for handball, and I think that's come off the stomach of Dujon Sterling. And Rangers get it away with Lammers out to Lundstrom. Infield looking for Lammers, sliding in Rolls. Now it's McCausland though, flips it forward. Lammers with a header, and it's going to be picked up by Kai Rolls. I think there's about 40 seconds left. Hearts 0, Rangers 1. Long ball from Barry Mackay. Great ping, great stretch out to Forrest. Back in field to Beningame. Forrest on the touchline. Beningame turns in field instead and finds Nieuwenhof. To the left of the circle for Rolls. Out to the left-hand side for Mackay. Now or never for Hearts. Long ball into the box, goes straight through to Jack Butland, and it will surely finish. Hearts 0, Rangers 1.
Yeah, Hearts doing okay possession-wise. They're not really, again, opening Rangers up in that instance. Just a little bit dominance of possession round in the Rangers half. But again, I'll repeat myself, not really causing Jack Butland a problem.
It's all over. A huge 3 points for Rangers. Philippe Clement remains unbeaten as Rangers manager. Hearts and chances left to perhaps lament those opportunities and lament Jack Butland's performance in goal. For Rangers tonight, 2 outstanding saves, one from Shanklin, one from Vargas, either side of half-time. And it's Abdallah Sima's goal in 34 minutes that's made the difference tonight in front of a crowd of just under 18,000 down the Gorgie Road. It was a calm finish from Sima, was slipped through to him by Tavernier. Stephen Naismith will be annoyed that one ball from the Rangers captain ripped his defence apart, and Sima did the rest to make it 1-0 to Rangers. And whilst they withstood plenty pressure themselves, they also had numerous opportunities to add to the Sima goal. The biggest culprit was probably Danilo, who saw 2 efforts blocked. Zander Clark made a couple of saves, made a couple of mistakes as well, though, with Craig Gordon now breathing down his neck amongst the Hearts substitutes as the Rangers players go to celebrate with their 800 or so supporters who are inside the stadium this evening. A major disappointment for Hearts. Their 4-game winning streak in the top flight comes to an end at the hands of Rangers, who they've only managed to beat now 2 times out of the last 26. They finished here thanks to Abdallah Sima's 12th goal of the season. Heart of Midlothian 0, Rangers 1.
The Scottish Premiership.